Calling all beings, y'all. Let's get it.
Put your hands together. Put your hands together.
Can I get a amen for everybody out there in Free Carrot Reed Nation? Good evening, everybody. I'm your host, DJ, on an amazing, energetic evening here on Calling All Beings, because we have a group of straight, dead-ass pipe hitting up is for all of you, because these Justice Warriors ain't playing no kind of games with you at all, okay? They're very serious about their advocacy, okay? And this is probably the most excited I've been for a roundtable. I don't know, the energy from these people just has me all kinds of jacked up. So I did bring on a couple of wranglers. I don't know if they have cowboy hats tonight. I don't know if they have rope. I hope they do. But I brought on a couple wranglers to try to help me to manage the wild-ass people that we got right here to show up to these standouts with all kinds of energy. And they ain't got, as Alan Jackson from Texas would say, they ain't got no quit. Can you hear what I'm saying? Let's first bring on a normal co-host. I've been on this thing a little bit. She was a guest a couple of weeks ago. She has her own, what is it called that? What's the name of that platform? Because Boozy Beauty uses it as well and Nurse Kim uses it. What's it called, homegirl?
It's called TikTok.
TikTok! Great happens! Oh, and she's got a guitar because... Go ahead, homegirl. What's up?
I was trying to do your little theme song at the beginning.
You know,
yeah,
we're happy to hear you play Cream. I mean, it could be whatever. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Sunshine of Your Love, whatever it's going to be. But yeah, Britt Happens is a content creator on TikTok. She will be joining us here on YouTube very shortly. But you know somebody who is on YouTube? You know who I'm talking about, Britt?
There's a couple.
We talking about Massachusetts' own Analyze.
Hello. Britt, that was impressive.
Well,
what's that?
That was really impressive. Good job.
Oh, her guitar?
Yeah.
Oh, man, she played when she was on a couple of weeks ago, and she may play tonight if the mood, she said if the mood fits, she might play tonight. So I'm hoping that she does, and I don't give a damn what she plays. So,
awesome.
all right.
I'm all for it, yeah.
Definitely. I was shooting for the theme song that he has on there.
I don't even know where Nathan got that. Nathan, the co-creator of Calling All Beings, whom none of you have met because he's UFO, Bigfoot, paranormal guy. But hopefully someday y'all will meet him because he is a straight, amazing human being, and I don't use that lightly. Analyze is a YouTube creator. She's not on Twitter because of some of the hateful individuals on there, so she's letting us handle that action for us. But she is a brilliant analyst on YouTube. Analyze.
We write it, Dawn. Going for you.
You renamed the page though. What is your page? Analyze.
Analyze Station.
Analyze Station. Thank you. I'll get it. Everything that everyone gives me will be in the show notes for the podcast, and I will also get it in the YouTube show notes as well. Hello, everybody in the chat. We're gonna say hi to you guys. Hello, Larry Legend. We're gonna say hi to everyone, but we got to bring on our guests. And I'm gonna tell you, we got some wild people up in this joint that we got to get on here. So let's see who we going to get to first. All right, now in no particular order. Well, you know what? Let me get this young lady on because she's really the one that put this together. If it wasn't for her, this roundtable probably wouldn't be happening because she introduced me to all these folks. This young lady right here is she's an investigator, researcher. She comes to us from the Stephen Avery investigation, where I'm sure she did years and years of work. We still haven't had that conversation yet. And now she has taken up our movement that we're all working on here in Massachusetts. She from the great state of Illinois. So party people, put your hands together for Annette Reality Check.
All right, I'm from Illinois, but I'm in South Carolina now.
Okay.
Get her.
You're closer to me.
For
I
Annette.
actually think I know you.
Yeah?
You know me?
Yeah.
Oh, you
no,
know.
I think I know Brittany.
You do?
I think I do.
Maybe.
From
Maybe.
TikTok?
We'll talk later.
Okay.
All right.
Later.
I'll get
Well,
you my
yeah.
number.
All right.
Yeah. That's half the thing about doing these roundtables is meeting new people, making new friends, making new contacts, and just growing the community bigger. And but really at the root level, it's making new friends. That's what's like I used to watch Analyze, on YouTube, and now we're friends. You know what I mean? As a result of this, so it's big stuff. Let's go to the next person. Okay. This young lady right here, I met at the Halloween party. She was probably the second person I met that
I know who
amazing
that is.
human Beatriz introduced me to. So entering the stage right with entering stage right with an enthusiastic wave, we have Estey. She is unapologetically energized woman. Wait, I didn't get.
I'm
Hold on.
clapping anyways.
I didn't get through it.
She's my boo.
I mentioned.
There's more. I
Estey!
had homework, and I did my homework.
I meant for that to be timed differently, but she's gonna be doing.
Right.
She's gonna be doing some sit-ups, some crunches, and possibly the elliptical while we're in the show. So please don't be distracted by her
The
exercise.
Tamil pumpkin dance. Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully she has a microfiber towel handy. All right, next. Let me see who we have next here. Okay, Neuro Spicy. I love all the stuff she put in there. Okay, and Jason, we can't introduce yet because he's not
Me
here yet.
too.
But is he here? Is he at the bottom of the screen? Is Jason? He is here. Okay. All right, he's here. All right, give me a second here. Awesome. Bald-headed brother like me. All right, joining us from an undisclosed location down south where he's traveling for work, formerly known as the Queen of Mean, and recently outed as a heterosexual man who enjoys being called gay. It's Jason Bryan! Yeah!
Hey, everybody.
Can I get an amen for Jason?
Hi, Jason.
Hey.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Jason.
Hello.
And I'm going to tell you something, man. I love this brother's commentary, man. He is just such an intelligent brother. I heard him on a show with Scott McGinnis with Aussie Insider, and I just a little heart bubble emoji. So I was like, I got to talk to this brother. So welcome, Jason. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
And we missed each other at the Halloween party. I don't know how that happened. But
It's tragic, man. I think I missed John there, and I missed you. So terrible.
it's never going
all
to
right.
happen again.
No, it won't. It won't. Next year, I will be there early. Okay. All right. This young lady right here lives in Norfolk County. You could call her the rubber duck justice warrior and discord extraordinaire. She uses her humor, sass, and creativity to tell the most important aspects of the case surrounding Karen Reed on TikTok and soon to be YouTube channel.
Yes.
One thing she's certainly not afraid of is using her damn voice. So put your hands together for Boozy Beauty.
Yes.
Can I get
My
a
girl.
amen for the Boozy one? I love it. All right, next. Let's get the next brother on here. And I think we're going to be complete. Let me know if there's anybody that I'm missing. So, ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves for the one and only, the meme maestro, the costume connoisseur, and master of the absurd, known for showing up to local political meetings dressed as everything from a duck to an elephant to a chicken. His unconventional flair is only matched by his razor-sharp insight and knack for breaking down complex stories. Recently, he turned his talents toward the notorious Karen Reed trial, offering deep-dive video analysis that have captivated audience and fueled discussions nationwide with a blend of humor, keen observation, and a touch of the unexpected, sometimes not a shirt. John brings Flash or is that fresh? Fresh and fearless perspective to everything he touches. Party people, put your hands together for Jon Comeau.
Woo! Is this thing on? Is this thing on? How do you work this thing? Am I on?
All right. All right. I think we have a full panel here. Do we not? Have I missed anybody?
This
I
is
think
it.
we have everybody. Yes?
No one's abandoned in the
No,
green
I
room.
don't.
There's not any room here. Once John came in, there's no more
That's
room.
right.
Yeah, we have 10. We have a
Sorry, no
maximum
more
of
friends.
10, but let me make. Am I missing anyone? I need my
No.
backups here. Britt, okay, good. Everybody's on screen. God bless. All right, this is the Calling All Beings Roundtable. So everybody in the chat, let's just say hi to a couple people before we kick this off. Dennis Sweeney's in the house, man. I got to meet Dennis and Brenda. What's up, Holmes? Yeah. Yep, we're gonna see you guys real soon. We're about 2 months away. We have Cadence, we have Tima, Julie. Julie is our chat moderator, also from Indiana. Just like next weekend, we're having Christina Rasmussen. She's from Indiana, and your friend Scott McGinnis. I think we got everybody. Even Jason was in the chat at one point. Glenn Lake is here. All right, guys, we're going to kick this off. So I'm going to try to keep track of how this goes. Everybody knows the rules that's here. Essentially, the Calling All Beings Roundtables that everybody brings either a question, a topic, or a hypothesis to present to the group. We'll try to keep it in a circular order. If we get messed up, we'll try to redress ourselves. And that's why we have smart people like Britt and Analyze here, because inevitably I'm going to screw up at some point. So now
You heard that, John.
we're
There's rules.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody knows the rules. One bite.
Rules and I don't
Is that like a cocktail, Frank? Okay.
No, we follow the rules. We are rule followers. Remember that.
Yes, we're not going to be like Tully.
Well, I've never been served.
And we're not going to be like Tully doing backroom stuff with Krusty and all that stuff. All right, so we're going to start with reality check. So I made like a little circular pattern. So I have reality check, John, Boozy, Estey, and Jason. Is that? Yeah, well, it's just because you were I did it in the order that you joined the roundtable. So you were the one, you were more or less the architect of this roundtable, Annette. So, and thank you so much.
I did
want to
pick
thank
out
you.
some fabulous people.
You did. And you're a fabulous person as well. And I'm really happy that, I get to have a dialogue with you off screen and all that. I'm very thankful for that. So with that, please, would you? So basically what we're going to do for everybody that's in there in the chat, what's up? Beam me up, Mr. Scott, Larry Legend. You and I have been chatting on Twitter. So what we're going to, and by the way, I love Larry Bird too, even though I'm a Knicks fan. What we're going to do is we're going to try to get through this round table as quickly as we can so we can have a free-for-all, have a pillow fight in which essentially we're going to be shorthanded because there's 4 women and there's only 3 guys, and we're probably going to get just
Love those
bombarded with
odds.
pillows. So,
Being in a hotel room, I have
You're too
pillows right
willing.
behind me, though. So
I
we can-
know. Jason
You're
probably
too
has like
willing.
a couple firm, a couple...
You know it.
The chair in the corner.
But
There is one, but
All right, Diddy.
I don't know who had this room before me, though.
But we want to get to the free-for-all so that we can take questions from the chat because I'm sure. Hey, Jen T, thank you, buddy, for the other night. I really appreciate it. Hey, Cheryl, totally the Hollywood Squares, Holmes. What's up, Timo? All trolls, yeah. So what we want to do is get through this so we can take questions for everybody from the chat, have a free-for-all, and just have pillow feathers flying everywhere. So with that, keep your answers succinct, brief. Oh, by the way, we have 2 Dean College alumnus here, both Busey Beauty and Estey. And me.
I was on the dean's
that's
list too, by the way. I graduated with high honors.
No, I'm talking about Dean College, homie. We all 3 of us went to Dean College.
My stepdaughter also went to Dean College.
You can say I was on the dean's
And-
list too. I'll take it.
And
Yeah, right.
That's also awesome.
See, this is why these are my girls.
All right. I love it. You guys are just so cool. This is probably going to be the best roundtable we've ever had. Okay. So with that reality check, please present your topic to the group. Keep it short, keep it brief, succinct, please.
Well, that was really dangerous for you to tell me to keep it short. Okay.
Yes.
So actually, I've been doing some conversating with Jon and Boozy, of course, offline, and even Jason. And there's a few things in the case that, especially during the first trial, things like Chris Albert is the one who puts Brian Albert and Brian Higgins coming in together. He puts them leaving together. The one thing I posted today was about what was Chris doing, because somebody posted the police report. Was it, I don't remember if it was Boozy or not, the police report where Yuri says that Chris and Julie went to the house party as well. So I'm like, okay, here we go. Was he going over there the last time he talked to Jon to smooth things over or to encourage him to go to the house? And then they get to the house and we have somebody who testifies that Brian Albert and Brian Higgins came in together. Then we have the situation with Colin saying he messaged Allie to come and get him. Now, if we're going on our side, if we believe that Jon was killed in that house, Jen McCabe's not going to want her daughter anywhere in front of that house. She's not going to want her seen there or anything. So then we have the 360 that says, oh, Allie was behind the woods.
Canton High School?
Yep. She was there, and that leads from the house to Canton High School. Because what's Jen say? What's the most important thing for Jen?
Is that the question?
Her family.
Yeah.
All right. So my question is, all those different aspects, did they send red flags to you? Do they send red flags to you? And what are your takes on all of the misconceptions or the wrongful testimonies?
Good question.
So to truncate it, what are your to compartmentalize that down into a smaller question is, say that last part again. Help keep track of this, Britt, will you? Magna cum laude.
Did it send red flags to you?
Yeah, basically
all of
what were
Go ahead.
the inconsistencies, you know, what of those inconsistencies, what are your red flags about those particular things that don't line up with testimony?
The particulars of Colin and Caitlin
And do you think differently
so
than
forth.
me? Do you think differently?
That question will go to Jon, then Boozy, then Estey, and then Jason.
What do I got? 30 seconds?
Just like I said, just be brief. Don't take like 5 minutes.
All right, I'll be
it'll
brief.
be a 4-hour roundtable.
Everything that was in the original documents is made up. Let's go with this. They all met. They wrote something down because they just figured it was never going to get this far. So that's what they put on paper. That's why it doesn't match up in their testimony, because they never believed that they would have to go this far to testify in this case. How's that?
Boom.
Yeah.
They thought she would plead out and so forth.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Yep.
They never thought I'd get this far. So that's why nothing lines up.
Boozy.
I will say my number one thing from the get-go has been the anatomy. It's just Jon's body. It's clear he wasn't hit by a car. He just wasn't. I made this point earlier on Twitter that there's a lot of tendons and ligaments in the arm, right? And if you think of your elbow, how often are you doing a golfer's swing or a tennis swing and we hear of a tennis elbow? Yet we're supposed to expect that there's no elbow joint issues, no broken, no nothing, even though he got supposedly hit by a Lexus SUV. So that was my number one, was his anatomy.
That's a great one. And next is to Estey, please, ma'am.
The McAlberts, I'll keep this brief too. The McAlberts are liars. Everything they've said is lies. Like, you can't believe anything they say. And yes, and Jen was the mastermind. She was like, huddle up, everybody, powwow time. This is the story we're going with. And that's it. You can't believe anything.
Especially
they
this
say.
last couple of
Everything
weeks.
changed from on the reports to the day they sat on that stand, they lied.
Alexis elbow. That's awesome, Glenn. Thank you, Glenn.
Yep. They go.
Nobody leaves this kitchen till we get our story straight.
And this last couple of weeks, we're seeing it even stronger that at least with Phelps, she's been rubbing elbows at least with him.
Yep.
All right. This is great. Okay, Mr. Broyles, please.
Yeah, I think for me, it's always been the evidence. We know the testimony has changed all the time. And I completely agree with John's take in terms of they never thought they were going to do this. This was going to be a plea deal. It's why they increased the charges to begin with. It's pretty obvious. But I mean, the taillight, like, how do you get past the taillight? And I was one of the original 5 that Sean McDonough shared the taillight photos with. And when we went through that, that was a moment for me because there was all these questions about, is this an incompetent investigation? On the behalf of the Canton police, I believe that was 90% of it. It was, I mean, not that there's not bad actors there. There definitely are. I know John will agree with that, but I do think that they were out of their scope. They didn't know what they were doing. There was a couple of people there that were steering things in a certain direction. But when you got to that taillight evidence, like, there was just no way past that. And that was case closed for me in terms of my own looking at this case saying, oh, she didn't hit him at all, versus initially you think maybe she hit him and it was an accident and she didn't know when you go through these things. But when we got to that taillight, it was a done deal for me. And I was a true believer ever since then.
Jason, are you saying I hit him doesn't tell the entire story? Come on, man. I'm just kidding. All right.
Well, actually,
I'm
to
kidding.
go back to reality check's point, I hit him was never that. It evolved into I hit him.
Right.
So
That
Ben
was
McCabe didn't start there.
It was ex post facto that she called. Hey, I've got something else. I had an incredible epiphany. All right, so I want to get some quips now. Just get a quick take since we did really well. You guys just did excellent on that first round. I want to get a quip from Britt and Analyze, please.
Britt, you can go first. You like?
Okay. I mean, back to what we said about the changing testimony and the I hit him. I mean, Jen McCabe didn't even put that in her grand jury testimony. That ended up being a major point between her and Alan Jackson during trial number 1. We also have lies in the police reports as to when Karen Reed's car was taken into their possession. So everything about this, every piece of evidence that they supposedly have against Karen is something that was manufactured.
Synthetic, manufactured, planted, fabricated. To all those adjectives.
And then I'm going to give mine who checked maps because I personally am about as far away from Massachusetts as you can get. But the Albert's backyard, supposedly, it would have been very easy for Colin to go through the backyard, maybe hop a fence or two, which, if you know the beef between him and John O'Keefe, he had no problem doing that kind of thing. And likely went to get picked up by Allie from the high school by hopping a fence or two and going through that backyard.
Yep.
Absolutely, man. It's just there's so many aspects of this. Like, someone like, hey, can you tell me about the Karen Reed case? Like, yeah, do you have 120 minutes?
Yeah,
analyze.
exactly.
Yeah, just to keep it brief, I agree with John. I don't trust anything the police or the prosecution put together, and they contradict their own timeline during trial. Like, just someone needs to write a really big book about this case, because it would be like, contradictory.
Oh, Cleven's writing one. You want to read that, right?
I've already pre-ordered on Amazon. Yeah.
Oh, good. We'll have story time with DJ.
Yeah.
I often say that I feel really bad because if anyone you have all these people that are lining up to make documentaries of this case, and you can't tell this whole story in one sitting. Nobody's going to believe it. There are
Right.
so many little side stories. And then once you add in the Turtle Boy aspect of this story, in the false arrest and in the charges and all of these things mixed together, it becomes an unbelievable story. But it's true. I mean, it's real.
It would be like Thornbirds 1 and 2 or Roots 1
Right.
and 2. You can't. It would be at least a month-long series.
It's
I
true.
think what Jason is saying is that if you were to ask a screenwriter to write something, they would not be able to do this. Like
Correct.
they would be like, oh, nobody would believe that. Literally. I mean, I have a high school classmate that has an Academy Award as a director, and I don't think she could write something like this. I really don't. It's just
Oh, this would be
too
3
fantastic.
seasons on Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Where's that
Literally,
lady from
3
Crab Apple
seasons.
Cove?
We need Angela.
Angela. All right, let's go to the next troop we've got here, which is John with his topic. Please, thank you for great answers on everything.
All right, my question is moving forward. If you were the prosecutor or the defense attorney, who are the 2 people you were most afraid to bring back on the next? So who's, as a prosecutor and then as a defense, who are the 2 people that you're most afraid to bring back?
And that goes to
Do you mean
Boozy.
Do you mean ones
Yes, ma'am.
we are gonna come back, or
They have to come right. If
they
somebody's
have
coming
to come
back,
back.
who are you most afraid to put back on the stand? They're gonna show up. So it can't be someone that they're not bringing back. Someone that's coming back
Okay.
that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to put them up on the stand.
Prosecution or defense?
One of each, one from each, like the
Okay,
defense
one of
and the
each.
prosecution.
Oh, awesome. Great question. That goes to Boozy Beauty.
Okay. Prosecution's really easy for me. The one, the only Michael Proctor, because obviously he's the lead investigator and he fucked himself, right? So Michael Proctor, yep, there we go, Timma. And also too, Jen McCabe. Jen McCabe. There's so much perjury on her end.
Now,
I think
and for the defense,
well, the defense that takes a little more thought process, and I have ADHD.
Well, that's
and
what I was told to ask a
quickly.
question.
Oh, why'd you have to have such a hard one?
I did my homework.
I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, just real quickly, Boozy, if you brought the Crash Daddies back, but they did a different test where they took, they have those figures where it's like a human body. They use them in those, forged in fire to slice through. So it's the same weight and sort of context as a human body. And if they put one of those and then hit it with an SUV at 24 miles an hour in reverse, if they got us 470, imagine what that data would do compared to the stupid glass with the cannon crap. Imagine if they actually went and put it in a parking lot and then hit a body with it. Like, how powerful would that be if the Crash Daddies perform that test next time?
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I don't know if the defense should or would be afraid of any of their witnesses coming back. And I feel like even the more stronger prosecution witnesses still were strong for them too. So I don't know. But you can come back to me.
Yeah, Cadence is saying dog bite lady, and I just want to say, the prosecution tried to pick away. This woman was a Boston police officer for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they hit on that enough in all the credentials that she has. She was a Boston police officer for 5 years. She doesn't have it in for police. Just saying. Sorry.
The problem is Bev limited her on what she could testify to.
Yeah,
Dr.
the Bev
Russell.
had something in there about the police part of her job.
Well,
Yeah.
no, but they did talk about it, but it wasn't. It really they did mention it. It's part of her resume. They can't say, oh, you can't tell your resume. They said you were a Boston, but I mean, I don't think it resonated with a lot of people. She had an incredible body of work as a forensic pathologist at UCLA and all that, and Los Angeles County. But she was a Boston police officer for 5 years. That's not insignificant. It really isn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I interrupted. Mr. Broyles, please.
Well, I mean, you stole my answer too, right? So when we're talking
Sure.
about the
Supposed to keep it on
the
track.
crash, I know
Oh,
we
sorry.
skipped that.
I'm
Steve.
sorry. I sorry.
Oh yeah,
Well,
we- You got
We'll
the
rotate
dance
I
back
don't
in.
mind though.
Gave us
We'll
rules and then he
rotate back
breaks
to
them.
you. But the crash caddies.
That's
if
it.
the crash
Women
caddies-
revolt.
The pillow fight is going to be worse now. I'm sorry. All
Sorry,
right.
Jason. I'm sorry,
This
Jason.
is no. Listen, this is
Nobody
why I'm.
puts Etsy in the corner.
Right after Jason, we'll go to Estey. This is a DJ foul.
Nobody puts Etsy in the corner.
Listen, this is why I'm in an undisclosed location because I don't want even you to know where I am. Either. But I will say my answer is it's a caveat, right? So my answer is the crash daddies if they can be properly explained to the jury because we can't have them come back and be the insurance company crash daddies because that's the problem there, right? So my answer is I'm going to use a 2-for-1 to put them together as the crash daddies if it's properly explained. The prosecution does not want them to come back. And from a defense standpoint, as much as, we had Rick Green and all those things, I think Ian Whiffen made a compelling witness. And I think that the defense would definitely, if they're trying to figure out who they're going to target in terms of the reliability of their testimony, just the credential that he works at Celebrate alone gives him a little bit more implied credibility. So I think that that's the one that, but now luckily they can bring that expert from Purdue that was hired by Vanity Fair that came to the same conclusion as Rick Green. I don't think Rick Green was the best witness. And I think that in comparison to going up against, Ian Whiffen, that Ian Whiffen probably came off to the jury as more technically credible.
Can I
That's
interrupt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
Yes,
interrupt
ma'am.
My
you.
turn. I have
Yeah.
a little bit of a word on
What?
Dr. Umik
Brain.
Karabiak.
Go for
So Dr. Umik Karabiak is going to outrank any of the existing witnesses that we had from trial number 1 regarding the Celebrite extractions. So I think we're going to
Great.
be okay there. If we're able to bring him
PhD.
in.
Yeah.
So
University.
yes, he got his master's and his PhD from Florida State University. He works with AI. He works with iOS systems. He works on, things that I couldn't even pronounce. Just he's got this. He's got everything that we need. He's going to outrank them all. He's going to have a lot more credibility if he were to get on the stand.
Can you move your modem closer to your camera?
I can't. I can't.
All right.
It's a laptop on my bed, and then I've got a
All
chair
right.
like a foot away.
We're building the studio out back as we speak, so it's going to take
Yes.
a little bit. All right.
I'm working
Brett
on
has,
it.
has pillows nearby too. We got to watch out for
I
that.
just want to say this. I want to say the
Sorry, Estey.
MVP of tonight will win a can of DJ Skincare formula. Organic. So whoever's the MVP, I will send you some DJ Skincare formula. There's a can of it
Is
just
that
made
for
fresh today.
bald head or is it
This-
for all over?
This is
I'm
made for
just-
face.
Not wax.
Nice.
No, it's got 4 ingredients in it. I make it by hand. Face, I put it face, body,
Jason
wherever
can
you are.
have it.
I'm all set. I'm all
Jason
set.
can have it.
Jason can have it.
Yeah.
Jason can have it.
Makes it himself. I'm all set.
It's all right. Go ahead, Estey. Before this goes way off the rails, ma'am, please save us.
Who I want them to bring back in the defense, and it will be bad, is the firefighter that is just acquaintance. Because she perjured herself so bad that
No, it's who you don't want. It's who you're afraid to have back. Pay attention, Estey. It's who you're most worried about.
No. She's saying that the prosecution should be worried about bringing that one back.
Oh, I'm sorry, Estey.
Super pro.
Thank you, Jason.
Reality check. Yes.
Sorry.
All right.
But
Who's
see,
afraid
like,
of?
put her, like,
I'm going in the
she's on
corner.
there. Huh?
Well, one thing, like Estey, who would be more afraid? Who would the prosecution be more afraid to bring Trooper Paul back if he were called as a defense witness, or Trooper Guarino?
Oh,
Gotcha, Julie. Julie's used DJ Skincare formula. See, there you go.
So Guarino was the one that said and stuff, right?
No, Paul.
Yeah,
That was Paul.
That was
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah, Trooper Paul
that's
didn't know
Paul,
the
yeah.
definition of kinematics, despite that it's part of his job description to know what kinematics
Yeah,
represents
that
and what
might
it
be a
is.
good one to put on for them. Yeah. That's all I got.
And I think that and it's like everyone's going to pick the crash daddies. I think Dr. Sheridan was good, but Dr. Sheridan from Ireland I thought was really good. But every time he had the very deep breath before he was putting out every sentence, it was very difficult to understand when he's going. "Arr, arr." You know it, right, Jason? He was taking those deep breaths, right, Dr. Sheridan? But I love you, brother. You did a fantastic job. All right. Anyway, let's. You knew I was going to get one accent in there, right, Britt? Come on.
Oh yeah.
They're magically delicious. Go ahead.
His British.
Everybody tells me I sound like Lucky Charms.
But I
Can't believe it. Anyway, all right. All right, next. Jason already did his, so it's reality check taking that question.
Actually, we could just go in the circle and I would love to let her go first.
No, I didn't miss it. We didn't miss anybody. We're good.
No, you missed me, I thought.
Alana,
You just. Who did I miss?
I already
Oh,
asked
never mind.
I was
Ignore
going to
me.
let Analysis Station go
Did
first.
I miss you, Boozy? No, you answered. It was John's question. You answered first.
I think we still
Have
need
another
analyze
drink,
and then
Booze.
reality check.
Have another drink. Yeah, I would let Analysis Station go.
An-
I want to be the last
Analyze and myself and Britt are time dependent if we're going to answer, how we do. It's reality check.
Oh, okay.
You guys are the round table.
Right.
We're the wranglers. So, howdy,
one. Well,
partner.
you're doing a really shitty job because we cannot be wrangled.
I would hate to be
Okay.
Madam Transcriber right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Madam.
Can you all
Clerk.
talk one at a time, please?
One
Could
person.
have been down in the middle.
Oh, God.
All right. So who would I not want? Let's show the different here.
Okay.
It's not going to happen. Don't worry about it.
All right, as you were.
I would, for the worst testimony, I would say the defense doesn't really want Jen. She's the worst one for them because too many people saw through her BS. And for the prosecution, I would say they should have had somebody. It's not that the people that they had shouldn't come back, but they should have had somebody at least from Apple or don't laugh at me. I got feelings, dude.
We're laughing at the
laughing at
comments
me.
in chat.
He's
We're
laughing
laughing
at
at the
chat.
comments in chat.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Oh,
Timma.
Timma!
Am I right?
It
I
wasn't
saw
Timma.
that.
Oh.
That wasn't
No,
Timma that said he'd go watch Plevin?
Oh,
He
it
did-
was.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was. Was
You
that?
know,
I think Larry-
Keep it up. I'll go watch Pleb.
Timma, guess what? Nurse Kim gave me something to show you.
I got something for you.
I'm gonna clutch some pearls right now. All right, if I had him, but
No,
I do
but
have the duck.
I would say that was the one they missed one they should have had, which would have been an Apple person to actually talk about the steps and
Yes,
the GPS.
100%, 100%. Analyze, but do you have a quick one you'd like to comment on this one?
I just want to respond to what Jason said earlier.
Yeah.
I agree that Ian Whiffen would have been a compelling witness, but it was discovered thanks to the help of Olivia
Yes.
Lambo that Ian Whiffen actually didn't even rely on the hash values. So Ian Whiffen's testimony doesn't hold water. It's nothing. It was a waste of time. He couldn't even verify that the extractions were the original extractions.
Yeah, they're
And-
definitely more. they'd be more prepared for him now. From
Yeah.
from the
We
things
need
that have come
Olivia
out
to
since
be
the
an
testimony.
expert witness.
Yes.
I don't think that'll happen. But
I
she is
need
an expert.
Auntie
She's
Babs
very,
like
very
better.
compelling.
Give me a piece of her brain and put it in mine.
Talking about hash values, mup. So
And
I
I think-
learned so much listening to her. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Annalise.
Oh,
I was
agree.
just gonna say,
Amazing.
I think Alan Jackson would not want both Trooper Joe Paul and Jennifer McCabe. I feel like they would both give him a stroke, you know? Like they were both about to give him a stroke.
It's a medical issue.
Like so yeah. But the prosecution, I feel like the prosecution probably wouldn't want to speak with ARCA. You know?
Oh,
We just
my
want,
goodness.
hey, the Taillight Whisperer, we just want to borrow her for a little while. Relax.
Can you tell me?
Would that be
wait,
everybody if you could have not a celebrity, but if you could have somebody from any part of this story as a surprise witness, is that who you guys all pick?
I would. Yeah.
Olivia?
Yeah. Olivia.
Sorry, that's my second question.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
No, that was my question. Like I worked on that question all day.
John, you're.
All right. Well, that's okay. We'll get
There you go.
put a pin in it.
All right. Yeah. Let me just ask Taillight Whisperer. Are you the lady who did that amazing YouTube video about the taillight? Please tell me if that's you. Because if it's you, no, who's the taillight whisperer?
He's
That's our
not.
friend Ab. That's our friend Abby. That's our friend Abby. She's amazing.
Oh,
Okay. That's okay. She doesn't do a YouTube.
She works a lot with you'll see her a lot of times on
Aussie.
Aussie Insider.
Okay.
Yeah, so she works with
Abby.
Aussie.
Yes,
And-
I got to meet. I got to speak with her on. We chat a little on YouTube. Yes, there's somebody who did a taillight
and while you
video.
and while you talk
And I
about
feel so sorry for her because she knew Plevin like
ahead.
years ago. Ew.
Oh.
It's unfortunate, you know.
she sure
Somebody
did.
had to do it.
I love her heart.
I love Abby. Abby and I call ourselves the Connecticut Coalition because we're both from Connecticut. And not only does Abby work a lot with Aussie Insider, but I also will be starting a YouTube channel very soon, and Abby's going to work with me on a lot of my
Yay!
content. So full disclosure,
Yay!
I'm a big fan.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'll send out a video to you guys. There's a woman, a mom somewhere in Massachusetts that did a taillight, she bought a Lexus LS570 taillight. She deconstructed it and then she brought it to Dave Unetti's office. Has anyone
was
seen
David
that video other
McIntyre.
than Britt? What's that?
Yeah,
I thought David McIntyre did that.
No.
Yeah, David McIntyre did that analysis for the taillight too, and I know his work went
right.
to Unetti.
Yeah,
No,
I think they worked together on it. This woman's work, her explanation of it was outstanding. She was an educator, a former educator. I'll try to find that because I was blown away by what she did. And she's not
I'd
not
love
as
to
well
see
known
it.
as she should be. Yeah.
Taillight
She called-
Whisperer.
And I linked to David McIntyre's analysis.
Yeah, she
Taillight
also spoke
Whisperer
about
does
I think she
videos,
worked
but he has no
She's-
sense of humor. None.
Yeah, she spoke
None.
about David as part of that what she did. So I think they may have worked together on that. But she called every Toyota entity literally from here to Japan, and then finally she bought a tail light and then deconstructed it. So anyway, let us go to our friend, the one and only Dean College's own Boozy Beauty.
Yay!
Kenna,
Okay.
Kenna.
Look, I even wrote it down. See, I'm prepared.
Girl.
Dean College's own, like I don't say.
You got a little sun on your nose there, girl.
You-
She's gonna test us on this, Joe.
No. Mine is it's hypothetical. Okay, so there's not too much thought other than like your opinion. Okay, so here we go. If you could speak to anyone on the Justice for JJ side, aka any of the players, the direct family, the O'Keefes, the Alberts, the McCabe's, the Proctors, or some of the head trolls, you all know who they are, under oath, and you are sworn to secrecy, and they have to tell the truth. Let me see. Every answer will be answered truthfully. Who would it be and why? So who would you choose to be in a room with? They're under oath and you're both sworn to secrecy and they have to tell every little bit of truth. Who would it be and why?
So Jason, picture strapped to a gurney, CIA personnel and waterboarding equipment is at the side of the gurney.
I have a question about the parameters of your question, Boozy.
Yeah.
Well,
Can they include the
me too. Yeah, go ahead,
witnesses?
Brett.
Yeah, can it include the witnesses or is it people who were not present on
Anyone
January
on
29th?
the other side.
Anyone from Justice for JJ. Anyone.
Yeah.
There you go. By the way, Jen Root is in the chat.
So-
Hello, Jen.
Jen!
Go ahead, sir.
Mwah.
Yay, Jen. So
Hi, Jen.
I have an answer, and I know who a lot of people are going to pick, but because everyone else is going to pick the people that I really want, I'm going to pick Lieutenant Tully. And the only question I'm going to ask him is how many years in prison he thinks he's going to get at the conclusion of the process. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick Lieutenant Tully, and I'm going to ask him that question, but it's mainly just to make him mad.
Not what time he really left his driveway,
Yeah.
right?
That's true. I
Not
guess
what
if I
time
get a
he
couple
really
questions,
left?
I'll think of a few more along the way.
How many people would be, oh, I gotta keep snow blowing my driveway. Meanwhile, next town over, the guy's dying or dead.
Yeah.
Nope, 3 more passes.
It's true, yeah.
That was
If
my
I could speak dog, Chloe would certainly be in there. But yes, so please,
you're right.
the next one would be reality check. Oh no,
Here
am
I
I
am
wrong about that? No,
Estey,
wait.
what about
Did
Estey?
you
No,
skip
Estey
again?
Estey. I'm sorry, I did
Stop
it again.
skipping Estey.
My
She's
apo-
right there in the dead middle.
She's like Alice from Brady Bunch. She's right in the middle.
She would be Paul Lynn.
It's Hollywood Squares.
Yeah, she would be Paul Lynn. She would be the center square.
No,
So
she's
go ahead.
Alice.
decoration. Okay.
Go ahead, Estey. Listen to Brady Bunch. Go ahead, love.
Well, I was gonna be funny and say Chloe, but okay. On serious, it's just Higgy. Let's
Higgy?
go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's sit down. Let's have a chat.
Agreed.
Spit it
But
out.
why? But why? What would you want to ask him?
Sus.
I would want to ask. What did you do?
Yeah,
to
what do you want to suss out?
What did you do to John? What did you see?
What'd you see?
I mean,
Yep.
what's your birthday? Like, that's all I've got.
What's your sign?
What's your favorite color?
Fine. Boxers or briefs? No, like. What?
Oh,
Come
man.
on, Estey. His favorite pickup
Yeah,
line.
Does he
Innie
put
or an
syrup on
Audi?
spaghetti?
Hey,
you have an
weed
innie or an
whacker.
Audi. Yeah.
What are you doing there, weed whacker?
Just, yeah. Like, what did you want from Karen? I'd rather.
We got a superstar in this joint right now.
Olivia, did you feel it? Did you hear
Olivia!
We
Oh,
were your ears
send
ringing?
her a
We're just
link.
talking about
Send
you.
her a link. Send her a link.
Do you want to,
Someone
Olivia?
send
If you want to
Cat
come in here, I will send you this on Twitter DM.
Yeah, send her a
because-
link. I'm tired of being next to the fire.
Yeah, because we were like,
That's
let me.
fine.
I'll send it to her on Twitter DM right now.
What am I chopped liver? Are you kidding me?
No, the fire is between us.
Wait, reach out.
There she goes.
Put it
Reach
in
out.
right next-
Someone mute me for a second. DJ, can you mute me for just a second?
You can mute yourself, or I can mute you. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and mute me for just a minute. I'm
Okay,
sorry,
love.
my dogs are having a panic attack.
Okay.
Everything
All right.
Olivia
She's a.
says, I
Brit's
told
on
her
mute.
to say it.
Okay, let's all
and-
talk about Brit while she's gone.
All right. So, Estey, you happy with that answer, Higgy Poo? Good. Yeah.
Do I get an
Okay. What's that?
F? Do I get an F?
No, you got an A. You got an A. I mean, you're a dean student. Obviously, you got an A. I'm just okay. Let's go
They
to
all do.
reality check.
I'm sorry. I'm still laughing about Estey. Okay. I would probably go with. Carl Dugal.
Ooh.
That's a good
Wow,
one.
that'd be a great
Ooh.
one, man.
That's a
What'd
good
you do with the bumper on that car?
I want to know what he did, if anything, and
What if anything?
what, if anything? Well, actually, maybe I want to change that. Maybe I don't want Carl. I'd go to Morrissey. I would go.
Oh,
Who
You
called
don't
There's
want to
you?
one.
hang out with him. You don't want to hang out with him. Trust me. You don't.
No, I
No.
don't. I didn't
Don't.
say I wanted to hang
down
out
in
with
Marina
him.
Bay.
Bay.
I'm online. Shh. My dog. Sorry.
On the tube.
See, even the dog thinks Morrissey should be questioned. I want to know when he got phone calls, when he did what he did, and I want to know all the dirt. I want to know behind it. Why did you bring Brennan in? Why did you put Lolly in there when all he can do is traffic court? Why did
What happened to me?
I mean,
Distracted.
Who did that?
Estey!
You Estey, you went sideways. What happened? I mean, not figuratively sideways, but literally sideways.
Effing sideways. Look at the TV.
Thank you, Sherry D. Good to see you back in here. We're competing with Melanie Little, Glare, and somebody else is on
That's
tonight.
okay. We're having more fun than they are.
I'm absolutely yeah.
Hi, boy.
We're not competing with
yeah.
them. You know how many times I've tried to call into the glare? I've never gotten through.
I have
Estey
like
is sideways.
twice. But no, it would be Morrissey. I would want to know
There
when
we
he got
go.
when he got his information, what possessed him to file the charges he got against her, what kind of what's the word, experience he has to even run this kind of investigation, and what happened behind all the other cases on top of it. I took yours, didn't I, John?
Right. No, that's not. I was waiting for him to let me talk. I'm trying to be good here.
Yeah, no, the next one, you're next. You're next.
Okay.
Go ahead, John. Yes, sir.
I'm going to pick my girl. Jen. I want to know how many other pictures of me she has on her phone. If she's going to be if she is going to answer my prison pen pal letters. How long she's been following my other Instagram account. There's lots of questions I have for her. Why she missed soccer last. I want to know why she missed soccer last Friday. She hasn't missed a soccer game, and she missed soccer last Friday. Honest to God,
And did she
I don't know where she was.
Did she buy
She
your
would-
foot pics?
She was somewhere, but she wasn't at soccer last Friday, and people are upset at me for pointing that out.
Because she was online buying your foot pics.
No, she was in a meeting somewhere.
And why the
Oh.
hell is Matt Phelps saying fit, attractive? I don't see what that has to do with, when he's describing Jen McCabe. I don't see what fit, attractive has to do with
Right.
how that's germane.
So I have another
story.
question for her. I want to know if she's going to change her footwear for the next court. No more flip-flops.
McCabe wore
It's
flip
gonna be in
Jen,
January.
no more flip-flops. Jen.
Chad.
If
It-
you want
it
to
will
date
be in
John, you're going to
January,
have to straighten
though.
your act up, Jen. That's all I got to
Yeah.
say. All right.
Oh, she'll have her Parker on.
Her parka. Her parka.
Oh my God, John just made my night. All right, let's go. The next person with a topic
You're not
is.
standing on your head anymore.
Oh no! Before we do that, I want to
You're
just
not
give
standing on your head anymore. Sorry.
Flip my thing.
Analyze and Britt to have a shot at that topic as well. Go ahead, Analyze.
So repeat it again. What are we? Because I kind of
This was
Boozy's question.
Boozy.
question. Yeah.
If you could talk
Yeah.
to anyone. Yeah.
Sure.
If-
Why don't you
Truth
say it for me?
serum.
Go ahead, Dixie. Go ahead.
Truth
Go say
serum
it.
in the arm.
Go say it.
Who do you want to hear from?
I would agree with Estey that Higgins for sure. Between Higgins and Brian Albert, I think they know the most.
Brit
You
happens.
think they're hot?
Brit happens.
You guys think he's hot?
It's clearly dangerous to flirt with Brian Higgins.
Hello?
So.
Oh,
I'm trying to cook a 5-course meal right now. I might burn my house down if I call in. All right, Olivia, we understand. We just wanted to throw you a vine. We would love to have you on this absolute
sure.
craziness right here. You're in demand. All right, Britt, who would you like to hear of relative to truth serum?
I would take a very different approach. I would talk to Jon Sr.
That's what I want.
I thought of
Yeah.
John Senior?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, I would. I have several reasons. One of the things I would ask is, how did the Alberts and the McCabe's pull the wool over your eyes for
They
so
didn't.
long? Do you know that Karen isn't responsible? And did you get that car fixed? Okay. Did you get the car fixed? When did you do it? Where did you do it? I mean, I would have a lot of questions for Jon Sr. And I also feel like Jon Sr. is kind of just going along with the rest of the family. He's going along with Peggy,
Peggy.
I can tell you from Sean had a former friend that grew up with John and Christina, and Joan was on, and she literally said that Jon Sr. does know. He does not believe that Karen did anything. He loves Karen, and he's having a very hard time with the whole thing.
Yep. I can see that.
Yeah, for my part, I would like to see Brian Albert, simply because he was in the room, and I'm not going to go into my hypothesis of what happened because I'm not going to hijack the roundtable. But I do have a hypothesis. I'm pretty sure I know what happened in that room and why, and I have some, there are some fact points that I think will back that up. But I'm not going to hijack the roundtable to facilitate that. But Brian Albert, I would want to see waterboarded and with the truth serum in his arm and some CIA
Yes!
some pipe hitting mother. So
We
anyway,
need that.
notice
Just to
I'm
comment
We
on
need
that
some
real fast.
sodium chloride.
self-edit.
We need some
self-edit.
sodium chloride.
That's
just
what I'm talking
to
about.
piggyback on that, DJ, the only thing I'll say
Yes, sir.
is all throughout the trial, the one thing that was prevalent, right? We heard one way or another from Jen McCabe because she couldn't stop talking, right? We heard from all of these people. The one person that kept their mouth shut from day one, and you never heard from him until he was on the stand, and then you never heard from him again, was Brian Albert, because he knew what to do. He knew that it was
Very smart.
STFU Friday going on there, and the right thing for him to do as a potential defendant in a future proceeding was to keep his mouth completely shut, and that's what he did.
Well, that's because
Yes.
it was Jen's time to shine. She was loving it.
There was a post today that was up there, and they were going off about how her Fifth Amendment rights and everything, and she's guilty and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, wait a minute. If that's how you guys are going about it, I said, no, actually, if you're guilty or you're innocent, you would be speaking out. Because we have other cases where people who have, like Diddy right now, Diddy's not speaking out. The people that are going to probably be called out are not speaking out. They're keeping their mouths shut. Who are speaking out? Jaguar Wright, Allie, those are the ones that are speaking out. So now we have Karen Reed, who is speaking out and saying, hey, this didn't happen. So maybe you should look at it the other way, because the people who are innocent are the ones that are speaking out because they have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Yep.
And What's going to happen? We're going to have one. Let me see. We have 2 more people to go, and then we're going to have an absolute free for all. So let's go with Estey, please.
Oh,
Yes.
maybe.
Yes.
I didn't do my homework. Put me on the
Estey, you have one question
whole-
to ask the
one
whole
question.
panel.
Yeah.
Come on, Estey, ask me a question.
One question, love.
Come on,
Will you
ask me.
take your shirt off?
No.
You have a whole whiteboard behind you. What are you talking about?
You can use my question if you want.
which way?
I had my jerk curtain
Behind
up,
you?
but I had a jerk curtain up, but it fell.
Oh no, she has a
Estey,
whiteboard. Those are her
Reskers,
signs.
do you have
Oh,
one?
Estey has one.
Oh, okay.
Because
sorry.
I can get to my. By the way, before we go into Estey's question, if you're in the chat right now, if you would please do us a favor and just hit the like button, we would really appreciate that. That would be very helpful. And if you could subscribe, that would also be helpful and very kind of you. That's all we ask. Estey, if you have a question, we just have you and Jason to get through. Then it'll be the free for all, and then I'll present my hypothesis during the pillow fight. So go ahead, please. If you have, and if you don't, and, look at Britt.
I'll be right back.
Reflexes.
Yes, ma'am.
I just don't understand. All right. Well, my question is just a question for the universe, I guess.
Sure.
How did nobody see a man on the front lawn when they left? And they say that snow was there on him sprinkling, and then I guess this was the podcast that we were that Aiden had on last night. How they were saying that sprinkle of white snow, he kind of just blended in, or the darkness of the grass, his body just blended into that, and like, huh?
You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, like
Phones don't lie.
on that front lawn, someone would have fucking saw him. So that's just the thing that I always come back to, even if all of those other things like the house long to dying cold, even just if all of that was just not there on the table, how did nobody inside that house not see a body?
That goes to
I guess
you
it's
first,
my turn.
Jason.
I think it's
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it's my turn. The answer is they
Yes, sir.
didn't, and it's M. William Phelps's thing where they would blend in both to the grass and to the snow doesn't make any sense. Like there's no that was
It's green and white.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm
Right.
traveling, and I had just gotten into a hotel room last night, and I had just gotten horrible Applebee's DoorDash. It was awful, and I immediately just clicked on the live, and I was watching that right when that came up yesterday, and I was like, "What in the world is going on with this guy?" Because that doesn't make sense to me. Clearly, everyone who has visited 34 Fairview, everyone who's gone by there and looks at
I don't
the
know why you didn't
property,
ask that then.
I drove
when
by.
you see the perspective of how small that lawn actually is, there is
Yes.
no way that anybody would have backed out of that driveway and had headlights shine on that lawn and not seen a body there. I don't believe
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Yeah,
And if you remember from trial, Jen McCabe literally testified that she was standing at that door and she saw Karen's SUV. She
Yep.
would have seen John's body in between. She had a view, right? Her view was downward. She had a
Pull
clear
up.
view of the front lawn. Yeah,
Pull up,
liar.
bitch.
She doesn't
Pull up.
believe in peripheral vision.
It would have been
Yeah.
straight ahead.
Yeah, I got to see it before I left Massachusetts. I after the party with you guys, I went back to Franklin, went to Dean, watch homecoming game, went to visit Terry Robbins, who's in the chat right now. We're going to talk about her. And then I went to 34 Fairview, and yeah, no question, it's quite small. And there's no question that somebody would have seen it. And it was because the body wasn't there, and that's why nobody saw it. Let me just bring this lady up on the screen right here. This woman was on the Dean Board of Directors for 29 years. This is our home girl right here, Miss Terry Robbins, Franklin's own.
Wow.
Terry,
Thank you for letting my stepdaughter graduate.
Hey, and you know where she was? She was in Canton watching volleyball tonight because I think her granddaughter is playing plays volleyball for Canton. So, Terry, good, glad that you can make it, love, and we will get together. That we need to get some more Dinos that are free Karen Reed, and we'll have that in a month or so. We'll have a free Karen Reed roundtable of Dean folks. You know, we'll have
DJ,
Estey,
is she related to Marty?
I think
you'd have to ask her. Her son
Terry,
is
are you
Ja-
related to Marty Robbins?
Her son is Jason. He
No,
coached at
the country
Canton,
singer,
so-
Marty Robbins.
Oh
No?
no, I don't.
No.
She's from Franklin, Mass. Come on.
You
But
want
her-
tickets, don't you, John?
Yeah.
No.
So anyway, all right. Let's
I
get
think,
back
by the
into-
way, I think that Dean College, I think they're going to send along a representative from alumni and development to ask you for money if you have like a Dean reunion. So just so you know.
Hey man, I'll give him some money. I'll give him some money, no problem. So let's get to Jason with his topic.
I'm
Did we go?
scared.
Did we go around on this already?
We
Yeah,
I
did.
think I was
We-
the. I think only myself and Bootsy Beauty answered. Yeah.
Did not everybody answer that question? Forgive me if you
my-
didn't.
Oh wait, maybe you're right.
Yeah,
I
maybe
think-
I'm right. Okay.
I answered and then Bootsy Beauty jumped in, but I don't
Okay,
think anyone
so
else
it's
answered.
reality check, John, and then Boozy to answer Estey's question, which has to do with how did somebody not see the body there, and what do you think about how? I mean, you could even answer how you think the body got there. I think it got loaded in the garage into the edge, and then out to the street, and then was drug out of the car from the passenger side.
My first issue is going back and watching sheriff's testimony because he said there was only a light dusting on John's body, which means John wasn't out there for that long. Now we have it coming. We have it coming back that they're trying to change the narrative, and what Jen said on the 911 call is we flipped him over.
Mhm.
So that's their new thing now.
Mhm.
But if he was out there since midnight,
Mhm.
we have I think at least two people that said it just started snowing. I think Kevin's wife Erin was one of the ones that said it just started snowing at midnight. So, and it barely snowed. So how can there be any snow underneath him? Unless the snow gods came under and lifted him up and put snow underneath him. There's no way.
That's a great point. If he had been out there before it started snowing, that's another excellent point that an investigator would have been all over that. So right now,
And that's why they didn't bring the CSI out, because they knew that's why they brought the CERT team out instead of CSI, because they knew if they brought the CSI out, CSI is going to bring tents, they're going to bring all this stuff, they're going to block it off, they're going to bring the heaters out, they're going to melt the whole thing down immediately, and anything that was going to be found was going to be found. And that's why that whole team, and people may say, oh, well, maybe they weren't in on it. Yeah, they were. At least somebody was.
of course they were.
Because
Yeah, somebody.
they
Yeah,
wouldn't have brought the CERT team because they're search and rescue. They're not crime scene investigators.
Right.
yeah. Let me just say one thing. My hypothesis on the show has been this: the moment that a supervisory investigating officer stepped onto the lawn at 34 Fairview, the investigation began. The moment they decided not to go and knock on the front door, the investigation was over.
Yep.
So that it might have been 60 seconds, it might have been 120 seconds. The investigation began and ended as soon as they said, I can't knock on that door because that's Brian Albert's door and I don't want to get him involved. So the rest of it became, how do we figure out a way that this happened without involving the Alberts? And however that
Hey,
transpired, we won't know till somebody's arrested and is threatened with being in jail for 15 years and not attending soccer games. But anyway, I digress. Let us go to John with that question.
Nobody saw the body because the body wasn't there.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Including the plow driver, Lucky Locker?
Yeah, Lucky didn't
Yeah.
see it. There was no body there.
Right.
All right, you
But
already
nobody-
know because here's the thing. Who's the third? Kerry Roberts.
Mhm.
All right. Supposedly she's the one that found the phone. If you watch the video, she was nowhere near them when they transported the body off the ground. You see them walking by. She's over.
The phone was in the house.
She's over she's to the right side of the screen. And Sara's just standing there and you see him make notes, right? And all of a sudden you see her kind of saunter over to get her blanket. But she testifies that she was standing right there and she saw them when they picked him up. She saw the phone. Nothing matches up. So there's no body there. The body wasn't out there. Body was placed there.
Yeah, and
Well, the blog thing though with Julie Nagel. How long was it before she was interviewed?
A year and a half, right? Over a
Last
year.
name is Colin.
Yeah, it was about a year and
Yeah.
a half. Yep.
Well, that's good.
So if she saw something in that yard and she saw the news reports, why didn't she call in?
That's a new question.
Yeah.
But
Not
you're
supposed
right.
to ask a new question.
But you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
not saying it's a new question. I'm just saying, putting it out there.
Okay.
All right, and that Boozy is the last one to please. If you would tackle that question, then we have one more roundtable member question. Then we'll get to the free for all.
Everyone touched upon it. All the things I wanted to talk about. And again, I'll go back to the anatomy, the body temp, where his lividity was, where the blood pooled to, the vomit on his shirt, the dog bites. None of it makes sense. His body would have been colder. The lividity would have been different. There would have been frostbite. He would have had, we'll say, more damage in YouTube.
Can I ask a question to you, Boozy? Because I
Yeah.
don't know the answer to this one. Where was the lividity?
On his back.
Fingers.
Oh, it would have been that he was laying on his back. That's where it
Correct.
pulled up. Okay.
But the
That's
other
really
thing is
interesting.
that they really didn't point out is the fact that what's his name? Nagel. It wasn't Nagel. The first kid, the first EMT. He said that
You mean
John's
Furrows?
fingers.
The one that said
the
Furrows?
No,
Yeah,
No, he's
Tim
a fireman.
Nettle, I think is his name.
That was
Tim
Nettle. Yeah.
Yes, Nettle.
Mhm.
Nettle
Yeah, Furrow.
said on the stand. Sorry, is that his first name?
No, Furrows is what he said on the stand. Furrows.
Right, but what he said was that when they went to take his clothes off in the ambulance, his hands were already rigid, which means
Wow.
He also
rigor
said that he had a Parker on.
he did, but he said because when they went to take his clothes off, his fingers were already rigid.
Rigid.
Right.
Oh wow, rigor.
Rigor
Okay.
mortis had started to set in.
Wow.
And that
You
was
know,
not
Boozy-
hammered on. That was not hammered on at all.
Boozy, if there was a
just say
special word of the night, lividity would have been the one.
that's
Thank
it,
you.
man.
Lividity.
There you go.
Let me just say to the people in the chat, I've starred a bunch of your questions, and we will
Lividity.
get to them during the free for all, which we're getting close.
Mhm.
want
And
a
that was
tighter shot of her.
I believe that was Estey's question. So now it goes with Jason, and his question will go to Reality Check. I'm gonna just pass by you guys because of the free. We'll get to the free for all here shortly.
I think my question is
Appreciate
really general because we talked about, I think we've done a good job of honing in on the evidence and the location of the body and these things. But the thing that has always troubled me about this case is we have all of these things. We see these. I've talked a lot about how we have the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office in cases that involve liability of police officers, and we talked about their poor investigation skills if a police officer is involved. But the other thing that always gets me is this relationship where we see a relationship with Kate Peter, who by all intents and purposes is this horrible human being, right? So we have this person who has harassment prevention orders. She's someone who's released revenge porn on people. She's a reprehensible person at a minimum. And yet the family has embraced her, not just Jen McCabe, but the O'Keefe family, the district attorney's office. We have these horrible people. We have the Mass State Police detachment out of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office has, in April of 2023, Turtle Boy started publicly accusing them of corruption. And instead of handing that investigation off to a state police unit that wasn't publicly being accused of corruption, that same state police unit investigated him for witness intimidation and arrested him. That would not happen anywhere the normal thing. So I guess my question in general is, what do you all think about all of these unusual things that surround this case and the people? Ken Mello is basically an incompetent mess, and he always has been his entire career, but that's the person they choose as a special prosecutor. The police are brazenly corrupt. The district attorney is brazenly corrupt, and they associate themselves with basically a common criminal and somebody who uses her victim status as a weapon. So when we see all of this, like, to me, that is, aside from the taillight, which evidentiary let me know, this is what let me know that there's something wrong with this case. How do you all feel about that? Like, that's my general discussion topic.
That goes to reality check. Thank you, B Harmony Granny Nanny. I really appreciate that. We will get this. We'll get to this when we get to the free for all, which is coming up next. Thank you so much for your kindness. Go ahead, ma'am.
For me, it's kind of difficult to look at because basically Kate and Lindsay had no idea about anything in this case until Aiden exposed it. And they saw he was passionate about it. They saw that he was digging into it. And in my humble opinion, they just saw it as a way to take him down. And I personally feel like he had already exposed that there was corruption, and they just decided, you know what, we're so angry at him, or we don't like him that much, that they became part of that corruption. And they thought that because all these other people were being protected, that they feel in the end they're going to be protected too, when they have no idea. Because the minute these people are done with them, they're going to wipe their feet if
Sure.
it's all over, and they don't, if they get the result they want, they're going to go, I never knew that person. Or if they get in trouble, they're going to go, nope. And
Yes.
because Kate has done so many fake group chats that she's posted, or
Discord.
she's done so many. Yeah, she's done so many.
Just,
You know, Boozy. She's done fake Discord posts. She's done fake Facebook posts. She's done fake iPhone posts. And I busted one of them, and they're just going to say, hey, it's another fake post. And because it's Morrissey, he's going to do it. They're going to be gone.
And thank you for that reality check. Jason, would you just truncate the end of the question and we'll present that to John, please?
Yeah. So the question again is, like, what's your take on them using all of these unsavory characters and these people that generally, just alone, if you never looked at the evidence and you just looked at the people that they're using, it makes this case suspicious right off the bat? What's your thought on that? What's your take?
Only in Massachusetts. Only in Massachusetts.
Great.
Seriously.
Unfortunately, no. But
Seriously, are you even surprised that they would? I mean, the fact that how do I put this? So Jason, I met this fellow who knew he knew who you were. So I've known who you've been for a while because he's the guy that was begging Lindsay to get out of his car.
I remember you and I had this conversation. I know who you're referring to. Yeah.
So when you go town by town, it's like every town has them. I mean, Canton had them. Canton had the people that were always at the China that would tell Eric Wade when the drugs were coming and going, who had this. I mean, for years, everybody knew that there were certain bars that Marvin Hagler would be like. You knew what bars to stay in, what to go to, what bars not to go to. You know which ones were were the safe ones. It's the same every town. Every town has them, and so it's Massachusetts. Doesn't surprise me at all that they use these kind of people.
We have them in South Carolina too.
Yeah. Yep.
And then would you please
let me
take
just throw
that
in there
to
1 second.
Yes, sir.
Let me just throw in there 1 second. While we're talking about that person that you met and we had discussed, they love to say, I actually am going to be releasing something very soon in regard to my communication with that person, because they love to say that I was pretending to be a woman and pretending to be a woman. Well, I have my conversation that I had with that person where the very first thing I did, and the same thing with anyone I advocated for along the way, the very first thing I did is say, just so you know, we're going to have a conversation. I don't want you to be surprised because I'm not a woman. You know what I mean? So I have an interesting, and the other thing that comes up with that individual is when they keep saying that I was doing Aiden Carney's work, that I was doing Aiden Carney's bidding, and they go through all these things. I have the communication where I reached out to them and I specifically highlighted, I'll release this today, where I specifically highlighted that I reached out to Aiden Carney to get their information so that I could contact them, not the other way around. So this wasn't him reaching out to me saying, I want you to write this about Lindsay, or I want you to do this. That's never been the case. And in fact, the only information, at least through the first several stories I wrote, that I got from him was the phone number of that person, and it was at my request.
Jason, so real quickly, I'm not a reporter. I never was a reporter. I came into this just by making a couple memes and having them get mad. But I had a person, I was away on vacation. I was down in Pennsylvania, and I had a person from Canton that sent me a whole bunch of things. And I've never talked to this person before in my life. And the person goes, I'm done talking to Turtle. Here's all. And I'm like, and it was just a data dump. And I'm like, what the heck am I going to do with this? Right. And I'm like, I don't want to know all of this. And then they start asking me questions. And I'm like, oh, what is this? This is what I have. What do you have? And they're going to report. I'm like, that's not me. I'm not that. I know nothing. I made memes. And then all of a sudden you throw all this stuff that, I get it. I totally get it. There's just so many of these type of people out there.
I was never a reporter either.
Yeah.
But they do it on X. If you make a comment or a post they don't like, they're like, well, you're just a cult member and you follow and you do it. Yeah. I'm like, you know what? I'm an individual. I have my own mind. I think my own thoughts. And I don't.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is this was a total data dump that was handed to me a year ago, last year. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this, fell into my lap. Yeah.
We're nearing
but that's
the
what
end
they
of,
do though.
We are nearing the end of
one mind.
Okay.
We're nearing the end of the roundtable.
That right there. Yeah, I need that.
We're nearing the end of the roundtable, and then we can get to the free for all. So let's.
You muted me. I need my pillow.
I know.
Mine's bigger than yours,
John. We got to
keep it going.
We got to keep it going. So let's get to let's see. We have Boozy Beauty on that, and then Estey, and then we can start throwing pillows. So
if I can, DJ, I do have one question for everybody too.
No, we're going.
Yeah.
We're gonna. We have
Okay.
to finish the roundtable before we can get to the free for all. Like I said.
Happened.
Okay, so it's gonna happen. It will happen. Trust me. Because I will mute you if I have to make it happen. We have like right now. I mean, right now, LTL's on, Nurse Kim is on, and the glare is on. So that's otherwise. So that just there's a lot of bandwidth. All right, so Estey or no Boozy, this one goes to you, please.
Okay. Well, I mean, we have a big group of individuals, families, right, who have been, although many would argue to say they're not the brightest, they've been very smart throughout their lifetimes in keeping or creating new connections in places that matter. So not just police, not just fire, EMT, hospitals, etc. Right? And now we're talking
Podcasters.
politicians. So now when we have something big that comes out, like we touched upon earlier, we didn't think that they were going to be questioning all this, that Karen would take a plea and it would be shenanigans done, right? This is the reason why we've seen so many stories change over and over again, because they weren't expecting to be checked like this. If we're thinking most recently, who has recently upped the ladder a little bit, we have Caitlin Albert, who's in the Attorney General's office. People always forget that. I'm going to fucking hound that to the day ends. And also Kevin Albert, not Kevin Albert, big guy, Kevin Albert, one of the children, is now in the fire department in Canton. And this is still an ongoing issue. What?
Kevin Albert?
Kevin's son?
Everybody thought it was.
No. Okay, we need to remember that they're a big family, right? They've got 7 of them, right? There's not a Kevin Albert Jr. One of the other brothers named his son Kevin. So there's not a junior. It's a separate.
Got it.
Got it?
But everybody
totally makes
thought
sense.
it was.
He named it after his
Everybody thought
brother.
it was Big Kevin.
Dude, that is we totally forgot about Caitlin Albert. That is awesome. Thank you. That I haven't heard anyone mention that in months, that she worked there. Months. Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. So back to Jason. When they need more voices other than their own, of course they're going to go to people that are just going to spew it. But now you need to think, if KP has all these things that she knows, and there's a Discord server that we know of, do you really think they're going to let go of her, even though there's all these charges against her? No, because we already know that she's going to fly off the walls if they try to cut her loose. She's going to start spewing everything. So it's smart to still keep her around, even though she's not the brightest of the bulb.
Yeah, why wouldn't you keep her on? Because, as I said, you need a public relations arm. You're not going to go to downtown Boston if you're the McAlberts and go, oh, we got to hire a public relations firm to put our message out. You're
200 people watch Clevin.
You're going to look for some angry person that has an agenda, that doesn't have a job, that's willing to go online and do this all the time. And she fits it perfectly, as does the dude who broadcasts from his mother's basement. Yeah.
But in the same token, it's not stupid.
Hold on a second. We're doing the round table. We're gonna get to the free for all. Go ahead, Estey, please.
So yeah, I agree with Boozy that Kate, she has all the tactics and like resources because of Aiden, how he did all of his stuff. She knows how he works. So she's just using all of those things to work her own stuff. So, and they know that. They know that she has the in of knowing stuff about Aiden. So they're going to keep her around for that. She's a vital piece. She's an in for all that stuff. And then Lindsay, she was just collateral damage, as the word like to use. And they used her. Tully and Mello used her for sure, and they don't care what happens with her now. Especially that's why Tully didn't erase the things she wrote in her phone. He obviously did erase the things between Kate and him, and then handed over the phone and acted like, "Oops, that was my mistake." So they're like, "Oh, he made a mistake," so they're not gonna look to see the real thing he did. It's like, oh, we caught him, he made a mistake, but he's really being tricky so that they don't dig in and really find out what he did do. So,
Yeah.
and for me, that whole stuff also is just a one big, huge distraction.
And there, it's very, very well done.
Watching my
on the-
screen
on-
is a big
on their-
distraction.
It's very well done on their part because it is they've gotten their result that they wanted. They've gotten people to broadcast their content. They've gotten people to put their content out, to tweet, retweet. You just look at the impressions on their tweets. They have thousands of impressions that people clicked on it. So although they're despicable, disgusting, dishonest people who actually know that Karen's innocent, the guy from his mom's basement and Turtle Boy's dismissed employee, they're very, very intelligent people. They're as smart as any of us here because they've gotten us to put their content out, even though it's all bullshit. They've done very, very well with it. So that's my take. And guess what? Now it's time for the free for all, so you guys can just have at it, man. Let's go.
I'd love to wrap up on that topic real fast to start the free for all, which is a couple of things. And while we do give them oxygen in terms of their engagement,
Absolutely.
right? By posting about them. And a lot of times I will respond to comments where people will say, just stop talking about them. And if you stop talking about them, they'll go away. But we actually have people committing crimes. And I think that when we stop talking about it and we don't highlight what they're doing, they get away with it. But the one thing that we see is when we do call them out, especially when they're bullying people, and when we do call that out, their engagement may be high, but when you look at the comments, the ratios are incredible. So their engagements are up on all of those posts. But the flip side of that, and I will tell you right now, like if I'm gonna quote tweet Kate Peter, I won't do it. I'll take a screenshot and I'll post it because I'm not trying to drive any extra traffic there, and I will literally take people off replies because I don't want to direct traffic there. Like I'm very cognizant of not making them more successful than they need to be. And if you haven't risen to that level of Kate Peter or Lindsay or whatever else, I'm probably not going to even talk about you in a meaningful way, because I watch people, I observe and I'll watch people have their replies will be in their engagement will be in the thousands, 1,500, 1,000 or whatever else on tweets that I engage with them on. And on tweets that I don't engage with them on, they get like 79 views.
Yeah.
So,
Right. So
go ahead.
Let me just respond to this real quick because I want to make sure Analyze and Britt can get on there because they've been very patient, and then you guys can just like I said, start throwing pillows at one another. And I'm allergic to feathers. I'm just kidding. Thank you, Dennis. Great showing. Got no quit. A lot of the damage is irreversible at this point because their profile has been raised. But when this happened to me in the community before, in the UFO community, and where CAB itself, I was targeted, the members of my show were targeted, and we had a team meeting about it. So just don't respond to these. Just don't say anything to them. And I'm not going to go into the whole story here. It's something I can have a private dialogue with Jason about. But I said, don't respond to them. Don't answer them back. Don't follow them. Don't go to their Twitter. Don't go to their YouTube. And they stopped because he would say, DJ sucks and Cab sucks and you're a liar and all this. And I would just, and I don't even know that he's tweeting it because he's muted. So I don't even know he's doing it. And people say, hey, DJ, he's saying stuff about you. I'm like, who? I'm okay,
right?
And they stop because what they want is I put no
engagement.
Value.
They want you to engage with them.
I put no value. The reason you're all on here right now is because I value your words. These people, I don't value anything. If they said I was a rapist, I was a criminal, I don't value anything that they have to say. So therefore, if I answer them back, the minimum is they know I care. The minimum.
That's Bob.
If I don't answer, they can't know that I give a shit what they said. And so they stop tweeting at me and stop messing with me. They DM'd Nathan once. I said, you want to have a talk with me? I'm happy to have a talk with, because it's not real tough guy stuff because we can't meet in person. Then we can find out who's tough.
Oh, they'll never do that.
But they're not going to do that, right? Because they're really not tough. They can
No.
be tough only when there's so we're not. It's not a manhood womanhood thing.
So,
where
I think it's
where
a
they would
majority
come
of
up to
them
your
are
face.
female. The majority of them are females on there, regardless of what their
Yeah,
screen
so-
name is. And so that's why they're never going to meet up with you.
Well, I'm not, but this guy was a male though. The guy who was talking crap about us, he was a guy, and I know that he doesn't want to meet up and be alone in a room with me. So then anything he says on the keyboard, I don't care. So he stopped, and they stopped talking about Cab, and they stopped talking about me because no matter what, he did a whole show on Cab. You know how you've seen content creators do shows about the guy from his mother's basement? He did whole shows on my show. We never responded, so he stopped. He will never appear. Nothing that he says or his image will ever appear on this screen. He could say anything he wants about me. He will never appear on the screen, ever. Period.
I understand
And I'm
what
easy
you're
to find,
saying there.
so.
I understand
Yeah.
what you're saying there, but I'm doing something different. I am not trying to avoid the bully. I'm trying to bully the bully, and I'm trying to expose the crimes that they're committing. So
I'm not trying to avoid him
Amen
either,
to that.
'cause the only way you can bully me is in person. And
right. Me
you know,
too.
so-
And I don't care what they
Yeah.
say about me ever.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, they've called me the worst words, and I watch now. They're going down to maybe page 4 on Google, I guess. But I don't care what they say about me. I am here to take the hits. I love that.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
no problem with it. But if you
Yeah.
saw, I was on. I just was on with my friend Miss Shorty, of course, our friend, and I set a little trap. I set a little trap. I just said, if you really wanted to get me, you would comment about my effectiveness. You wouldn't make fun of the fact that I have a lisp or that you can call me gay, which, by the way,
Oh, they always go to that. That's
By
like
the way-
the number one thing with me. And I'm like, that's all they keep going back to is sex and
Yeah.
gay and cheating on women. It's just nonstop with them.
and I'd be so proud to be gay. I don't care. It's not an insult to me.
Yeah.
So I said, you should really, if you want to get me, you'll come and comment on my effectiveness. And what does Kate Peter do the next day? She literally comments and saying, Jason Broyles is not effective. And she literally took the bait. So I was able to be like, oh, I just made you dance. Look, I made you dance. You did exactly what I wanted you to do.
I love
So-
interacting with them.
I love
I
your
was-
stuff, man. I love your stuff, Jason. And
I just want to say something about the two
Go ahead.
ladies we
It's
have
free
on
for all,
here
man.
that are
Go ahead.
in the chat with me. I would like to give my hat off and huge applause to both Estey and to Boozy, because I am like, for them, they didn't know me from Adam. And you reach out to them and they talk to you. We're not going with the Adam and Eve store tonight. You can reach out to them. They will talk to you. They will listen to you. They will give you ideas. They'll play off of you. And they are sincere, amazing women. And
Amen.
I agree.
For me, it was like to find these two ladies that are willing to support me, even
Hey,
not,
Tom.
you know, I'm not, but to listen to my ideas and to actually consider them. It's amazing. And I
Yeah.
can't wait for Boozy, and I'm hoping Estey does too. Get
Hi,
their own
Rich.
channels, and I'll be there to support them. Because
100%. I'm gonna be there. Let me get.
Boozy and I have
just want to
spent
get.
many nights digging online. We have.
TJ, I got a question for Britt.
She's,
Yeah, please,
she's
go ahead.
not only
Is
just a
she on
researcher,
TikTok?
Yes,
I am on
Brit
TikTok.
Happens.
Yes, she
Britt, you
is.
are, right?
Yes.
I am.
What? Do you care to share your name on TikTok?
It's right underneath her name, Blindy.
Actually, so that's my Twitter name. My name on TikTok is Brit Happens too. It's just Brit
Oh, I think I
Happens
might have
spelled
shared
out.
some of your stuff. Okay, never mind.
Oh, well, shucks.
Right.
Yeah, so-
BRITTHAPPENS.
But
Let's get Brit and
back-
Analyze in
back
here
to my
because
acclaims.
Um.
I just Boozy is. She had like tons of subscribers before I even met her, but she took the time to listen to somebody that didn't have followers and let them give her ideas and did research with them. So I give hats off to her.
Let me. Well, first of all, let me slow because I just got to meet Estey, and I have not in person met Boozy. I don't know if she was at the party or not at the holiday. So I haven't got to meet her. I'm glad to make new friends and super excited. Plus, hey man, they're Dean College homegirls, alumni.
You have to join Estey's group on Facebook, the dance one, because we're gonna do a mosh when. Yep, you have to join. You have to do the mosh.
I'm
A mosh or a
100% in.
mash?
The whole.
I'm 100% in. I'm so glad to have new friends. And Sean, like you, Sean is the one who brought me in the community. If Sean McDonough didn't come on my channel, probably nobody would be paying attention to me.
I love you, Sean.
So Sean, thank you, brother McDonough. Let's get Analyze and Brit in here with just stuff they wanted to ask you that they've been sitting on, and then we have
great.
stuff to get to in the chat, and then we'll close the show.
What are they sitting on?
Britt, you can ask
I
the
love
question you were wanting to ask.
Sure. So I'm in Florida. I am nowhere near you guys and what's going on with y'all. So I jumped into this whole case later than some of you probably did. But you know, what I want to know from each of you is what pulled you in? I mean, we are all very invested in this case. What was the detail throughout either the investigation or the trial, or the lack of investigation, or the trial, that absolutely took you by the heart and set you ablaze for Karen Reed?
Anyone in particular?
Was it, was it the taillight? Was it?
It was the taillight. For me, I already mentioned it. It was the taillight. Without question,
Mm-hmm.
once Sean shared the picture of the taillight with me and had the story about Brian Wanless and his auto body shop and all of the things that went along with that, I was done. There was no, I didn't have much doubt before that, but there was no reasonable doubt that existed after the taillight for me, ever.
Yep. Peter Murphy's interaction with Brian Wanless, asking him when he told him he removed the taillight. For me, I just want to say, real simple stuff. You had the one independent, nonpartisan Officer Barrows from Dighton said, I saw the taillight. It was cracked, had a piece falling down inside. And then all of a sudden, now they're showing a taillight where there's 45 pieces. And then they were not found on the lawn. Subsequently, over the next 2 weeks, they were found on the lawn. Case closed. And by the way, Proctor made sure not to take a photo, because if he did, it would have been evidence that he didn't want. So taillight not completely broken by the nonpartisan who doesn't give a shit about any of these idiots from these two families. And then it being completely broken and found on the lawn. Case closed. There you go.
For me, it was.
I mean, I don't even need to. Sorry, go ahead, sir.
Yep.
No. For me, it was. I grew up in this town. I grew up in Canton. I graduated with Lank, with Chris Albert, with Lucky Loughran, with Diana Simone. So I know all the people. I know the house. I've been at that. Canton is not as big as they wanted people to think in the trial. And what happened was early on, right when Turtle finally came on, and I didn't know him from anyone else. And there was another Facebook page called Everything Canton. And my brother and I ran Canton Confidential. And I said to the kid that runs, he used to be my neighbor. I said, hey, when this first happened, did you allow people to post on your? He goes, yeah. He goes, but now we don't let anyone post about it at all. And I said, so for the first year, you let anyone post about it. Now you're not letting. And so that's how we first started allowing Canton Confidential to allow people to post the other side of the story, because it was one way for the first year. And then Turtle started reporting on it. And it wasn't until we started doing that and I started getting the kickback of, you hate this town, how dare you, how dare you go against your fellow Canton people, and the private texts I got, the voicemails I got from people that were my so-called friends, that I graduated with was that I was on the wrong side of this, that she did it, and don't even question all these other people until circumstance, like literally I sit there and I record it, and it's time after time after time the video doesn't match with what they're saying.
You were
So
treated
until
like a traitor.
For the, you have a police station that's 25 years old that they unless they showed me every camera angle, kind of like the what do they call it, the chain of custody. If they showed me the chain of custody of that truck coming in, unloading it, bringing it into the Sally Port, and then doing the testing, then I'll say, okay, you know what? I believe you. But until then, I don't believe them, because there's no way that when everything you need is missing, something's up. So that's how it was for me.
Wow.
For me, like I said, I came in watching this as somebody who knew nothing about the case. And I watched it with Emily D. Baker. And for her to point out while we're watching it, the things that set off triggers for her, because we were watching as jurors, and the things that she had questions about. I mean, I had the same, but it was so nice to watch it as I had no Turtle Boy knowledge, none of all that stuff. I didn't know who Sean was. That's how I got into it. And for me, the huge thing was every time defense would ask about a chain of command roster, and there was nothing for any of the evidence. There was never a chain of command roster for evidence.
Yeah.
Having gone from Stephen Avery's case, I'm like, you always, when they did a surveillance of looking for Teresa Hallbeck, anybody that went in there had to sign in. Anybody who came out had to sign in. Every bit of evidence had to be signed in and out. And there was none of that in this case. And I'm like, wait, this is supposed to be the four founders. You guys are where we came from. And you're not doing anything by the book?
Yeah.
Well, you have to make sure you don't. Because if you do it by the book, then you provide evidence for Karen. So I always push back when someone says, oh, they did shoddy police work. No, they did not. Obviously, in the Brian Walsh case, they showed they're quite capable of doing excellent police work. They purposely did it this way so they wouldn't provide evidence to the contrary of the narrative that they wanted to play out in trial. So there is no shoddy police work at all. It's all quite calculated and purposeful. Somebody else want to tackle Britt's question?
Especially when I just want to throw, just to add to it, especially when you get to the MSP unit there, that Mass State Police Homicide Squad, 100% of the time, if a case involves a police officer being a liability, they follow that playbook. They have two playbooks. One is when a cop is in liability, and one is when a cop is not. And it plays out over and over and over again. Sean brought a new case into the fold.
Thin blue line. Thin blue line.
And that's where I'm going and investigating this. We're filing public records requests. We're doing things. I want to know about the other cases. We know about 5 now, and I want to know about some more, because I really
and we
want to
have
find
the same
that.
two. We have Cosgrove and Cahoney and Morrissey already involved in that.
Yep, Canoni. Anybody
You know
else?
that there was a FOIA request for the Boston Police Department, and for a certain for John O'Keefe and Karen Reed, it came back they needed $30,000 because that's how much there is in emails of the different Boston Police Departments emails talking back and forth about this case. $30,000 they wanted for a FOIA request.
It's also a tactic.
Yeah.
It's also a
but
tactic
what they
because
also
want
say
you
to you is, oh, that's what I was going to reveal tonight. And actually, DJ has the evidence. So I put out there where Helena Rafferty, I sent it to you in an email. You asked me to. Okay.
Yes.
So,
it was your FOIA request to Helena Rafferty. Yeah.
Yes. I sent in July, after the case was over, I sent in a FOIA request to Helena Rafferty for all of the information regarding I guess it would have been Jon O'Keefe calling in and making a report regarding drugs being dealt. I gave the name of the person that, and he can pull it up and show it.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Pull it up.
George's information. I gave his address. I gave Kevin Albert as being the investigative officer. I asked for any videos, any notes, any itemized stuff that had happened. I asked for everything.
We ain't getting no stinking note.
Helena messaged me back and said, this is part of a federal and a state investigation, which means Helena knew that Jon O'Keefe, the whole situation is under a federal investigation. So I emailed her again on the 30th, and she came back and said, I'm going to tell you the same thing. So
and I think that,
and that's when they keep saying there's no federal investigation. Helena Rafferty already told us.
I'm surprised you got that wording, because it seems to me what they were trying to do is they have carved out exceptions that they can use when denying FOIA requests. And one of those is the investigative exception, right? They don't have to provide materials of things that are currently under investigation. But when she said the words to you under state and federal investigation, that was a mistake. That was a mistake on their part, because they were trying to use
this is what I sent her. This is what I sent her.
Let me see
Scroll
if
up.
I can. Yeah, I'm trying to. Is it scrolling?
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
scroll it up.
Yeah.
Yep. Now slow down. There you go.
We
Read that
have
fast.
the name of the defendant, that the person that John saw dealing drugs was George Williamson. That's his address. He made the call in. Kevin Albert became the investigator. I think she was shocked off her ass that actually somebody had all that information, because nobody ever knew. They said, "Oh, he called on Kevin." No, he didn't.
Yeah, and here's her response right here.
We are not deliberately.
It's brilliant stuff, my friend.
Yep.
As I stated in my previous request. Yeah, this is brilliant stuff, man.
The records requests are very well written. Good job on that for sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But she's still saying the same. So she is the one in July that put out there that Jon O'Keefe is part of a federal investigation.
Yet she's also the one who publicly said that there was nothing going on. Too, if you remember, she made a big fat public statement saying that there was nothing like that.
Yeah, well,
Meanwhile, she's driving behind a
writing.
bunch of ducks on Halloween.
That was awesome.
I'm sorry,
she
go ahead.
put it in writing.
There is nothing
And I bet you nobody
surprising.
knew she did it either.
The depths of what they would do, like, because I think this is part of Jason's question, there is no depth of what they would do to lie or cover up that would surprise me at this point. And because there's absolutely no courage on any. It's really the thing that's disconcerting. And if anyone saw my tweet from earlier, I tweeted about Lou Elizondo and David Grush, the two guys that were involved in the UFO program at the Pentagon, and both of them had a GS-15 job. And if you want to know what a GS-15 at the government makes, go look up in general schedule. It's available. It's public information, step 1 through 10. Both of them were GS-15s with the government, and both of them said, I resign, because they wouldn't let them brief the SecDef on A, military encounters that pilots were having with UFOs, and B, programs that were reverse engineering craft that had crashed. So Lou Elizondo, we have not one officer, not one trooper, not one Canton PD person that will stand, not even Kelleher, that will stand up and say, I'm sick of this shit. I'm going to resign and I'm going to tell what happened. These guys did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and the Navy SEALs did it, right?
You've had officers that have retired. You've had officers that have transferred.
Yep.
You have officers that, that are still there. You're right. You're so right.
Not one will speak. And I brought this up on the episode with Britt. You had the Navy SEALs that contacted the IG about Eddie Gallagher, Chief Eddie Gallagher, who shot and executed an insurgent in Afghanistan. And these guys are like, dude, this guy is like killing innocent. You're talking about SEALs, Navy SEALs. And these guys are like, I don't want to deploy with this guy because I don't know who he's going to shoot in the face. Yeah. And these guys had the balls to send Eddie Gallagher to captain's mast, court-martial. But we don't have one officer that'll do that. Don't you think they were afraid of what other SEALs would say? Hey, I don't know about these guys. If they're going to dime out Eddie, do I want to deploy with this guy? But they did it.
The thin blue line,
because you know why? Because in Canton, you had one cop who went up to a retired cop who was with me at the Rolling Rally, and he basically tried to scare him into saying, "You're either with us or you're against us. You figure it out."
And
so
that's what I was
they're trying to intimidate each other to keep their mouth shut.
The thin blue line is definitely more prevalent in policing than it is in the military. There's just no question that there is that they have this mindset that you are either with us or you're against us. And
you do me a solid. You do me a solid, I'll do you a solid.
We see that in the Enrique case now, right? We see this where he had concerns about the thin blue line flag. I don't know I'm not saying this is true, but this was the story that was coming out in the beginning.
Go ahead. I don't care.
So we have these.
I'm sorry. DJ knows what I'm talking about. He's shaking his head at me.
Who, me?
I sent you the messages. Go ahead.
I'm not. I'm listening to him. I don't know how I got roped in.
He was talking about he was talking about Enrique, and I sent you messages. And I said, go ahead.
The cadets. Yeah.
But the point is this intimidation, it's real and it's deadly. It's not. Mm-hmm. So these people that don't come forward, I hate it. I want them to, but we had a witness, right? There was a Canton police officer on the witness list who is now a Boston police officer, right? And we all hoped that person was going to get called. You have Scanlon. I don't care what you say. This started from Scanlon coming forward and telling a story,
right?
And somebody got to him. And suddenly he wasn't telling a story. And everyone's like, oh, they didn't make it up. They didn't make up that Scanlon came to them with this story. That would be malpractice. It would be so risky for them to do that strategy just on the basis of somebody visited their office and they could say he made it up.
Multiple times. He visited their office. They said 3 times before he got scared off.
Well, I just want to say what Lou Elizondo did when this happened to him, because both Lou Elizondo and David Grush had their lives threatened by, I don't know who these people are from 3-letter agencies, but this is as real as, and one of them is actually here in Colorado with me. There's another former government official who's now not a government official. He lives here in Colorado. I had lunch with the guy, and he told me he was scared. He said, I think my wife will be threatened at work because she works for the government currently as contractor. And those guys, Lou Elizondo wrote a letter, and he basically went on YouTube and said, look, if anything happens to me, I'm not suicidal. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm not on any psychotropic medication. And so if something happens to me, I'm going to make sure I have a package of where you should look if something were to happen to me. And I think all those guys I'm not saying it's not scary, but I think everybody should do that. Analyze, do you have a question that you want to get in here, ma'am?
Get my Ziploc bag now.
Yeah, exactly like Karen. Go ahead, brother. Hi, Jess.
Get me my Ziploc bag. The meatloaf.
Analyze. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, the meatloaf.
I just want to say I do have to go. I have to get going. But I wanted to
Okay.
answer Britt's question, and I just wanted to say that I've studied corruption for a long time. I was involved in activism and protesting, you know, and this case,
You
this
don't look
case
old
here-
enough.
I'm
Barely
38.
talk.
Gosh, you look like you're about
38.
18.
Wow, Chica. Are you using DJ's skin treatments?
I'll send
He
you some
makes it
DJ
himself.
skincare formula.
You a baby.
This case has all the red flags.
Mhm.
You know, I've studied corruption. This case has all the red flags. When the timeline's contradicted, when the evidence doesn't add up, or when the narrative they're telling you and the evidence that we all know, like, don't line up, you know. This case has
No.
all the red flags. So that's why I got heavily involved in this one. Just for my own reasons. Like, this is corruption. It's absolutely corruption. And the more I dove in, the more I was certain. And then the trial itself was all the more revealing. You know,
yeah.
liar after liar after liar.
Mhm. Well, I'm glad you did, darling.
Yep.
Thank
It's like
you for
Henry-
analyze.
Henry Rollins.
Yeah,
Um,
let's bid analyze farewell because she's about to get out of here.
Bye,
Bye,
baby.
Analyze.
So nice
Much
to meet
love.
Much love. Thank you for having me.
Let's analyze.
Thank you so much for joining, and we will see you on Cab again. All right, love.
Yes, free Karen Reed, justice for John O'Keefe.
Nice meeting you.
Amen.
Bye, guys. Good night.
So
Yeah, man.
I actually have a contact I have spoken to that worked for MPD, and I actually sent the
When it was
information
7.
to DJ. And
Let's see these. Okay. Because
Did
there's
you
two
wanna
things
stop
that
me?
are blacked out. There are two things that are blacked out that you sent me where it doesn't show like what was in the context. So I'll have to check with you if those are it, because otherwise I put them on the screen. So let's see.
I think all I tried to do was block out his name.
Yeah, the whole
Anyways.
thing. But yeah, anyway.
I mean, you've read it, right?
I couldn't read it because everything was blacked out. But the header, like I'd have to show. I could take a screenshot and show you what it looks like, and I'll text it to you while you're.
Let me see if he
talking about the
texted
narrative.
me versus.
Sure.
While you're looking, can I ask a quick question, DJ?
Yeah, it's
Are
open.
we still in the
open
free
season.
for all?
Yeah,
we
this
still in
is
the free for all? Okay, just
absolutely.
checking.
Yeah.
Because Boozy hasn't said a word, neither has Estey. I was just wondering.
That was
Yeah.
the whole question.
There's a lot
Oh,
of
give her a chance, man. Give him a chance.
I am on
Well-
my best behavior here.
I said I was going
We're
to
all
do too.
so proud of
Stop
you
it.
today.
You guys
Stop
are
it.
awesome.
So,
Go ahead.
Boozy, what like pulled you in? What piece of the Karen Reed trial made you go from, kind of watching to
Do tell.
daily looking for updates?
Yeah, it's getting me closer.
Okay, so obviously, we led with the fact that I am a part of Norfolk County, and I
Right.
know there's a lot of people on the other side that get very annoyed when I say that. You don't live in Canton. I live in the county. This is
Okay, so yeah,
our
you're under
Massachusetts.
Morrissey's thumb. Yeah.
I am literally not that far from him. There's been events and things, and he's been in office a long time. He's a long time career
Lot of
politician.
Mhm.
So I think outside of Canton, and I think a lot of people that are from Norfolk County can agree with this, or even Massachusetts, like Estey probably agrees with this too, that the original media outpush of this was that it was a drunken accident. She ran over John, and that was the end of it. That there was video
And there was
footage
ring
of-
camera footage.
there
Yeah.
was ring. I was just
Yeah,
about to say
they
that.
told
It's
all that.
enormous. And that there was footage of it. And then that was the end of it for a few months. Like, that's all that
Yeah.
it was. It was just, that was it. And
Yeah.
I took that at face value because, I don't know, I stupidly trusted the police to do their job. And then things started coming out, and I heard things locally that weren't coming out in the media. And I go, wait, but I thought they had footage of it. And then we find out there's nothing. So it took me going into my own research and talking to people, and thankfully I'm happy that people trust me, that they come to me. And so many stories from not only people from Canton, but also people from Quincy and Dedham and Stoughton, and I won't go into other towns, but people that have been around these key players all the time, consistently, or randomly one-off events, and I hear the same stories or patterns of behavior over and over and over again. And that's what I try to hound in when I try to say these stories without giving specific names, because if I do give out names, then obviously that puts people in harm's way.
Don't worry, they can only get kicked out of so many bars.
Well,
They can only get kicked out of so many bars.
if they would stop getting so drunk and passing out at the bars and causing fights with patrons, it wouldn't be such an issue.
Yep.
That's
Who does that? In their 40s. 40s, in their 40s.
Some of them in their 20s, some of them in their 30s, some of them in their 50s. It's not just one. It's not just one.
Right.
So anywho, it was very concerning to me knowing that if me or one of my loved ones or any of the other special people now that have come to me to talk to me, if we were to get pulled over on the highway by a Massachusetts state police officer, we are at risk of getting searched and seized, of getting arrested, and then prosecuted by not only Michael Morrissey, but our judge being Beverly Cannoni for a criminal case. And that is what got me in this, period.
And then looking at my nudes.
For real,
I want
man.
to see the news, Estey.
Boozy.
I did send them to you, DJ. Did you get them?
Yes. I'm trying to crop them now. I'm not used to having to edit on the show, but I'm trying to make this happen.
We'll do it live. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, she sent it to my phone. I got to get it from the phone to the computer so I could get it on the screen. So
basically,
when
I
you
had
talk about-
contact. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Oh,
Brittany.
no, you're fine. I was going to briefly say, Boozy, you were talking about like harm's way and risk and stuff. And I've been following you for a while. I'm aware of some of what you've been going through personally. I just want to say, if you ever need to get out of Dodge, I'm right on the beach. I've got a guest room. It is
East Coast or West Coast?
No. I'm
Good.
Oh.
Good for you.
Anyway,
Brett, you earlier said that nobody was near you, but I am in an undisclosed southern location, so I very well might be near you right now.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. We might meet up for lunch tomorrow.
There you go. Let me know.
all right,
wait, that's Hayes' line. Meet me here in 15 minutes.
Meet me here in 10
Spirit
minutes.
Airlines, $59.
Maybe it'll be that. Meet me here in 10 minutes and I'll buy you lunch. We'll see what happens.
So basically, I connected with somebody who was in law enforcement. The way I connected to them is they knew Ryan. And then we talked about that. I introduced them to Sean. They have talked. And then when stuff started happening with Enrique,
Tired.
he has a family member that is still on the force. He sent me some information, and then he ran into somebody while the investigation was going on, and he sent me this information, and I sent it to DJ, and he's going to show it.
I'm trying to bring it up now. So give me a couple of potatoes, but I may have to read it to. Let me see. I don't know what this should be coming up right now because before this is exactly how I did it before and it worked. I can read it though.
Yeah. Basically, they already had their
Oh, here we
story
go.
in line before the investigation was even over.
Okay. All right. Now, it
DJ, I
should
keep
come up on the
a
screen.
Google Drive on my phone and on my computer to do those quick transfers because it's if you're working off a PC, it's horrible. Like you can't airdrop it. You know.
I have that as well. Well, I couldn't airdrop it because I don't have. If I turn on Bluetooth, my phone might take away the earbuds from the show.
Right.
So, but here you go. I should be able to manipulate this and scroll, and have you guys see it. It just, there we go. Can you see right there? There you go. Okay.
I can see it.
So, freak accident, and the instructor there was a pro boxer, great athlete. I have trained with him. They both said they have never seen anything like this. So then a reality check says, how do you get a broken leg, 3 cracked vertebrae, severe head trauma, and teeth knocked out? Headgear, Enrique was 6 inches taller.
This was, this is before. This was actually the message he sent before. The one you just showed was the last one.
Okay. Where did you, I don't know what you want me to read, but you want me to keep scrolling or
how many do you have? Do you have 3? There you go. Start with that one.
Okay. Yeah, I talked to some people at the state police situation. I spoke to my statute that trains at my gym. I think he probably meant to say I spoke to a guy that trains at my gym.
Mm-hmm.
He said that blank was a boxing with headgear. Enrique was 6 inches taller. He was boxing a wrestler. Said it was a freak accident. Personally, what I would say about this is I don't necessarily. I'm gonna have to try to get out of mail real quick. So it'll, okay, there we go. I don't necessarily trust what they told him because that doesn't represent a fight to me.
Right.
It doesn't represent training. I had on Chris Luttrell, who's a so probably Jason, John, Estey, and Boozy are not aware of this. Britt is aware of it. You are aware of it. I had on a guy named Chris Luttrell, a retired law enforcement officer from Albuquerque. He's the first, you guys have heard of Jackson's MMA? Nod your heads, gentlemen. Yes? Never? Jackson's in Albuquerque. Rashad Evans, John Jones, all the greatest.
Rashad Evans, yeah, I've heard.
Okay, they all, he was the first fighter at that gym, Chris Luttrell. Okay? He was a New Mexico State Trooper and then Albuquerque PD. He used to teach defensive tactics. He was an MMA fighter and coach for 25 years. So fought even before we had MMA gloves. Okay. I've trained at his gym. I have trained MMA. I'm not an MMA fighter, would never call myself an MMA fighter, but I've trained BJJ in a lot of their gyms as well. I've never seen injuries like this. He has never seen injuries like what Enrique had. The UFC has never had injuries like what Enrique had. Bellator never had injuries like Enrique had, except for the broken leg. There are certain types of a heel hook, especially an outside heel hook. I could see popping somebody's knee and producing the type of bruising that Enrique had. And in an inside heel hook, I could pop the other side of your knee, the inside. But so I don't buy what they told this gentleman who's a former police officer who spoke with them, and those injuries are not consistent with training. So I don't give a shit what they say.
Because money and intimidation go a long way.
My whole point was they already had their story in line.
Sure.
And that's what they fed to
this gentleman.
Yep.
Yes, this former officer who's trained combatives and all that. He's a very believable guy, but I know who she's talking about. They already
had their story.
Yeah. So anyway.
If it were a freak accident, they would have released that video by now.
Well, of course. And the autopsy, right? Nothing's been released. So they're just trying to, make sure that try and get people to forget about it. What I want to do right now, though, guys, I want to put some stuff up on the screen for you to react to. Let me see what we got here. These are thank you, Larry
pictures
Legend.
Of John? Okay. Sorry.
No.
I thought they were pictures of John without his shirt.
Listen, I said I'd behave. I didn't say how I would behave.
Right. I can't meme, but I can say wonderful group, great chat, positive. I might take the mask off one day, but you need support. Just let me know.
Yeah,
well,
you know
Larry.
What? That's why I never went under a fake name. I let them come after me. They know who I am. I've been in that town my whole life. My mother's still there. My brother's still there. I go through that town every day, and I will post, just like you said, I will post my memes. I will post my videos. and let them come after me because I'm not running from them.
We have Boozy
I
who
think
has
I
been
just
followed
want
on
to mention
several
that account,
occasions.
that Larry
Yeah.
Legend.
And you know what? My question is, if my information is not attached to this name, how do some of them know my name?
Same.
How do they know where I live?
Wait, what did I
Same.
just do here? Hold on, let me get the.
You're the
You
star of
put
the
us
show.
all
That's
in a
why
box.
DJ.
You put us all in a
No,
box.
hell no.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not the
there's
star
Now
of the
you
show.
put
beautiful
Boozy. Now you got
Boozy.
Boozy. Now you got Boozy center
You gotta
screen.
dance now.
Don't put me in
Everyone's,
the
Dance,
center.
everybody's gonna.
Dance.
It's a dance party.
Whoever's talking's gonna get in the center.
Oh
So,
look, $9.99 closet baby, $9.99.
Jason wanted to say something about. Did you have something to say
I love you,
to
Boo.
finish? Because
Yeah, closet baby said you guys are FKR awesome. Closet baby,
No,
$9.99.
I'll save you one day.
Jason wanted to say something about Larry Legend. So
Just that Larry Legend account is amazing. They're an amazing follow on Twitter. Very funny. They make me laugh every single day. It's a great account. So if you want the lighter side, they hit hard, but they also it's such an entertaining account. It's one of my favorite newer accounts on Twitter. So if anybody wants to follow
Me
them,
too.
feel free because
Me too.
they're good.
I
They're
am
funny.
And he's
following
come to my rescue too.
Are there any more donos?
Yes, we
Mary
have,
Flynn.
We need to
We
read
have-
the donos because
I will.
I need to know when to take my shirt off.
Let me get.
Yeah,
All right, let me try this here. Let me see if
Read
this
those
will- is it go-
donos.
There you go. Thank you very much, Closet Baby. I really appreciate the donations. That was really, really awesome of you. Dennis
That's
Sweeney,
10.
my homie.
That's 20.
We ain't got no quit. I'm gonna see you at our meal of food in January. It's gonna be the weekend of January 11th. You know, we'll get that figured out. I'll let Massachusetts people tell me what restaurant we need to go to, but we'll get that done.
I'm probably going to be up there testifying at some point. So
Dude,
Always
you
another
need-
20.
We
Estey.
need you up there, and Brittany needs
Be
to come up
harmony,
there, man.
granny, nanny.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I'll
40.
All right, so we got
I
to
love
have Brit, and we need to have we need to get a damn reality check. All right, can you read this one, Brit?
Sure. So B Harmony Granny Nanny says in the 911 transcript, Jennifer McCabe, I'm guessing that's what she means by JM, states that Officer John O'Keefe has been out there for a couple hours. She knows exactly when he was placed outside.
Yeah, she was playing coy. She said a man in the snow, and then she gets on the stand and cries and says, "He was a friend. I love him." Like, you're the worst actress, Jen. Like the worst.
And
Go
she
ahead,
has him
Estey.
go and she has him go back to the
I
house.
just noticed the naked man.
She told the truth.
Yeah. What?
What naked man?
Where's
I didn't
$40?
see it.
Keep going. Keep reading those donos.
Oh, it's going.
None of us
Keep reading those donos. Not
Wait,
until you get
do
to
any-
100.
Wait, hold on.
All right.
Do any of
Jason?
you follow Aussie Insider
Yeah.
on
I
YouTube?
do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then we know her saying the data doesn't lie. People do.
People do.
Yes.
I love
Absolutely.
her accent. She's
Mick
so
Alberts
cool.
do.
Would you read?
Wait a
would you
minute.
read
Lally
this
said
one,
the phones
Jason?
don't lie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, right.
Wow.
Phones don't lie.
I, Larry, I
Lies,
Legend
according to
says-
Jen McCabe.
Larry, I Legend says, my question, knowing what you know now, what's your defense trial strategy knowing Lally is out? The only option CW has is to obfuscate, deflect, and confuse. How do you hammer the big nails to the jury?
Man, they have to. I'll let somebody else answer this.
Well,
I've got
are they
opinions.
are they gonna tell the story like the way Lally tried to tell the story is basically he lulled everybody, he lallied everybody to sleep. So are they gonna try to do the story? Are they gonna try to tell the story in a different way? So if they tell the story in a different way, will the defense match up their testimony to the dash cams or match up it's going to be very hard for the prosecution to switch gears and come up with a whole new story. You can't come up with a story. They tried to do the 3-point turn until everybody told them, like, if you do the 3-point turn, the damage is on the wrong side of the car to put them in that spot in the yard. And I said it for months. when they changed the story from the 3-point turn to the backup so that it would match the area of the car, well, he's in the wrong spot of the yard. If that car hit him, he should have been in the middle of the yard, not at the beginning of the yard. Because if that car hit him, that means he would have been at the property line. And who's at the property line in the middle of a snowstorm if there's no tracks in the snow that led from the front of the house? So they're screwed if they try to tell the story any different than they originally told it.
Exactly.
And now it's closer to John taking his shirt off.
I want to ask Estey a question.
Wait, hold
Estey,
on. One of the stories too was that he got dragged, and that's the reason why she swabbed underneath the bumper. By the way, I don't know if anyone caught that at trial.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Estey has to get going, so I want to say
1%
goodbye.
left on my-
Sorry, love. Say again. 1%.
Yeah.
Plug your phone in.
The
It's
one.
the iPad. This is my phone right here.
Okay. The one question I was going to ask you, Estey, is before you go, as we wave goodbye, is how is this story different if at 5-something in the morning Jen doesn't back out and crack her taillight? So the taillight is now not a player in the story. How does this play out
You mean
differently
Karen.
if she doesn't bump Karen doesn't bump John's vehicle as she backs out of the garage?
Yeah, you threw me off when you said Jen. So how?
Sorry. How does this story play out differently if she does not bump? Oh, wow. I guess
Her
that
phone
1%.
died. I
That
knew
one-
it.
there-
I
her
was about
iPad-
to say, watch this. The minute you get your question out, her iPad's going to die.
Okay,
Yep.
we'll send this one to Boozy. Boozy, how is this story different
Answer for Estey.
if when Karen doesn't bump John's vehicle as she backs out of the driveway, so they don't have that as an accelerant to this fire?
And there was 6.
Wait. So hold on. I was answering chat for a second. What's the question?
I thought this question was going to be a lot easier than it
I can
seems, so I'll
answer real
repeat it
quick.
for the 5th time.
Yeah.
Okay, how is this story different
Squirrel.
if Karen at 5-something in the morning, whatever that time was,
Yeah.
does not bump John's vehicle and crack the taillight as she's leaving? So in other words, that's the accelerant. That's where they go, oh, she's cracked the taillight, so we can use that to say X, so we could build a story. What if she'd never cracked the taillight? How would this play out differently?
I think they would still try to figure out a way. I mean, she didn't crack the taillight. That's the reason why they cracked it for her.
No, she did crack the taillight because the Dighton officer said there was a piece that had fallen down inside.
Yeah, but if it had
Cracked
broken that much, it wouldn't fall inside. It would fall out.
No, we're not arguing their point. They're absolute idiots, and it physically could
Are you
not happen.
drinking
What they
wine
said.
tonight, girl?
The taillight wouldn't have done that. I'm saying if there was no crack, if there was no damage to the taillight whatsoever, what would they have concocted, do you think?
I don't know. I just think they're constantly into Lululand, and they probably would have pulled something out of their butts. I don't know.
You're probably right. You're probably
DJ,
right.
how about this? Do you think there was ever a first option and she was the second option?
Yes.
you,
Was
Rich.
there a
Lucky
first
Loughran.
story
Lucky
they-
Loughran.
and they pulled an audible and
Well-
went with the next?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that Jen came up with that when she knew about the cracked taillight. I don't think they had a story. I think they had to come up with it. They may have audible to Lucky, like you said, your former schoolmate. But it seems like once Jen presented that to them, they built the whole narrative around that. They didn't have a second plan.
100.
But you're right. It might have been Lucky, because remember, they didn't even want to talk to him. Remember Turtle Boy and somebody they found, or the private
Five-yard
investigator interviewed
landscaping.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my
the
whole
PI
thing
found him.
now is the fact that right before the Vanity Fair comes out,
Mhm.
Phelps comes out and he releases his podcast. And then we have the person that has talked to Paul O'Keefe, and it comes up that the only reason they're going to anybody is craft a compelling narrative.
Mhm.
And what is Phelps doing? He's trying to develop a compelling narrative.
That's 100% correct.
Mhm.
Yeah. And why though? What do you think his motivation is?
His motivation
Because
is
they didn't-
podcast sales. His motivation
Well,
is
His
getting paid.
motivation-
has anybody seen any of his prior work?
Yes, I learned about Turtle Boy and this
Who's he
case
following?
from being a fan of Phelps' work.
Okay,
That's
so
how
you've
I
seen
found
his
out.
prior things, and
Yes.
how do you feel about his prior things?
One of them, there was a couple of them that I liked, and there was a couple of them that were kind of boring. But he did one about
He's
a Connecticut
following
girl,
Kim
Janice
Fair.
Pocket. We can't talk over each other.
Sorry.
Jason, Janice
I'm
Pocket.
so
I don't know
angry.
if you remember.
I don't know
her.
I don't know that case.
Girl that was
no.
kidnapped. Yeah.
I don't know the
So
case.
he did some really good stuff, but
Okay,
some of his
yeah.
stuff I thought was boring. But I found out about Turtle Boy through him, and now I'm not
Yeah.
going to listen to him anymore, nor subscribe to his stuff. Go ahead, reality check.
He is, if just like Turtle Boy said, he's following Kim Fair. He's following Julie Carpenter. He's following Tuesday Gazette. He's following all of the anti-Karen Reed people. I'd like
Yeah,
to
but is he
call
also
them
following Karen Reed people? Like, is he following everybody?
minimal Karen
Okay.
Reed people. I
And the
went
people
through
that
and
he
did screenshots.
and the people that he chose to follow on the other side are possibly the most uninformed people on the planet. So
And the most
they're not-
toxic.
So
The
I
most
agree. Yeah.
toxic.
question
The
for you
ones
guys
who
about
are
him.
out there just
Hold on,
doing all
we got a
of the
question. We
garbage.
got a question from top middle square.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm muting myself.
No, no.
So
Go ahead.
Aiden mentioned that Phelps was seeming like he wanted to be spoon-fed information. He didn't seem like he was really willing to take the initiative to do his own researching. He was asking Aiden for all kinds of stuff that he easily could have just Googled on his own. And then it seemed at that time like he really was pro Karen. And then after he began to get frustrated with Aiden, he started
flipped.
weaning over to the other side. Right. Now, for the sake of argument, do you guys feel that maybe he's just trying to start off this series in order to add to the drama?
How many podcasts does he have? Like, how
A
big's the
lot,
series?
several.
No, I've
There's
never.
going to be 10 in this series.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah.
My personal thing is number one, if you had watched the actual trial, you would not have to be asking Aiden for all of this information if you had actually watched the trial.
Yeah, he hasn't done the work. I mean, we know that, but I mean, but Britt brings up a very, very good point, is that this may be an artistic endeavor for him whereby he's trying to do it the
Suck
way
in
that,
both sides.
Right,
Well,
right.
no,
Like,
not-
is it
yes,
is it
you're-
maybe
you're
that he's
creating
trying to
drama.
make it
It's-
seem
Yeah.
for drama's
Yeah.
sake? Right. For the sake of
So-
the journey, like Karen may be guilty, at least in the first few episodes,
Yeah.
and then trying to develop on that, and then trying to get the listener to flip at the end.
So
You know.
maybe don't give judgment until you hear the whole thing,
whole
and then you
thing.
look at it, and yeah.
Right.
But
And
Yeah.
why
I'm
is
not
he
saying that that's
blocking
what I.
Karen Reed? Why is he
Oh.
blocking people who are defending Karen Reed about what he's
Because he probably
done?
just doesn't
He's
want to have to deal
blocking
with it.
them.
Yeah, it's like Joe Rogan doesn't answer back people that say negative
Yeah.
stuff about him on YouTube. I mean,
He's not answering, but he's
Well,
not
that's what I'm-
blocking.
Well, maybe he does. I mean, he just doesn't even read them. He doesn't even read them because he doesn't want the negative feedback. So, which is fine. It's very, very.
Once the whole body of work comes in, then maybe judge it.
Yeah. No, it's a very interesting point that you write, Britt, is that he may be trying to build drama and then he'll switch back over to the other side when certain things come out. But he's gotten a lot of things wrong already. So
That's true.
that are very pertinent points, about for instance, he had something about Jen McCabe that he got quite wrong He didn't get the whole part about how she departed the scene, and then it was 3 hours later she called Lank or somebody and said,
Oh,
"Hey,
he got wrong. She wasn't up all night. She was up all night pacing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right."
See, I'm
I'd
not just a
actually like
pretty
to hear
face.
from Jason about this though, because Jason is a writer on top of it. So I'd
Yeah.
like to hear from another
Jason.
journalist.
I do apologize. I was actually just messaging with somebody that I'm advocating for, so I
I
stepped
know.
up. My brain
You
stepped
were.
out for a minute.
You
So if
didn't give
want
us all your, you didn't give us
I
the
know.
We're
attention
gonna
you were
It's
supposed
true.
to.
We're gonna get you out
We'd
of here
like to
after
know
this.
your input on Phelps.
So my input on Phelps is I think that this is probably the best thing that could ever happen for him, because we're generating publicity and a buzz around these podcasts now. So the podcast downloads, the controversy is causing more downloads to happen in these podcasts that probably would have happened otherwise. So I think it benefits everybody. It'll be interesting to see if the legal battle actually occurs and there's actually they try not to pay Carney the 40% or whatever else that he was going to get there. That'll be interesting to see. I have a
But
feeling
have
at
you
the end of the
listened to
day,
them?
I only in the context of what I heard in the show last night. I haven't downloaded them.
Okay. All right.
I've been very busy, and I wasn't particularly from the beginning. When I saw the things coming and they did the little clips, I didn't find it particularly compelling, especially when it comes out at the same time as the Vanity Fair article. And we've heard a lot about both sides' positions on things. So I'm interested in learning new things, and I didn't feel like we were learning anything new with what Phelps was doing.
You can't, right? Because you already know more about the trial than he does, the case than he
Right.
does.
That's
so
exactly
you can't learn. It's retrospective, and it's his opinion.
If something was going to come out, my thought is that someone's going to highlight that and post it in my Twitter feed, and I'm going to see it there.
Right.
Good point.
I listened to him. I swear to God, I thought he's got the voice of Ray Liotta. Like, to
Ray
me,
Romano.
Ray Liotta. I'm listening to him. I swear to God, if I didn't know who it was, I thought it was Ray Liotta talking.
I couldn't place it. Now I got it.
Yeah.
All right, we got to close the show, guys. It's been 2.5
Oh,
hours.
we're closing the
or
show,
something.
Boozy. You know what that means?
What?
Shirt's coming off.
Oh no!
But-
Where's the wig?
but-
Where's the
The
wig?
glasses kill me. The
No,
glasses.
no
I've
wig.
been laughing at that all night.
Oh, those
Why
are
is it
clicks.
no
Those are
wig?
awesome.
I
These are,
I
I
like
just
the
hit my
glasses.
middle age. They're clicks. They're the best thing ever.
I
Look.
just keep thinking about the Steve Martin movie, The Jerk, with the little handle in
Yes!
the middle of the glasses.
Take
and he-
it
These are the
off.
best things. You get them at Bass Pro Shop. Bass Pro Shop.
Take
They're
it
called
off,
clicks.
Ron.
You know,
Take it off.
All right.
just
All
hang
right.
down there when you need them. They're always there when you need them. You never lose them. You know,
I'm
they're just
one of
right
those
there.
guys- I'm one of those guys that always has glasses on the top of my head. And I pull them down, and I pull them up, and I pull them down.
Just started wearing cheetahs, and I lost the first 3 CVS pairs. I got these clicks, and I love them. They just hang around my neck all the time.
DJ,
All right,
I
yes,
had
ma'am.
somebody that asked me today if you
All
were
right, take
blind.
us out.
I thought you were
Take
blind
us out.
They thought I was blind.
'cause
Yes,
you wore the
I am.
sunglasses.
Yeah.
DJ
All
Wonder.
right. All right, John, you sexy individual. What I want to do is go around the room and get everybody to talk about where you can be found, where you want people to contact you, and then he's a beautiful man. And then I'll put whatever you give me into the show notes for the podcast, which will be out. Make it. Oh, here comes Nina. Christina will be on with us next week with Scott McGinnis. So it'll be Nina and Scott McGinnis, and the person, my co-host, will be the amazing Beatrice.
I'm blushing.
So, anyway, all right. So, please, if you would, let's start at the top with Jason. Where can people find work and send me so that I can put in the show notes, please?
So I definitely will be having. I will be starting a YouTube channel, as I announced earlier today. That'll be coming forward. It'll probably be a couple weeks before that's going to happen. And I already have. We're actually already developing content. So I do have a story about. We all love to look at Grant Ellis Smith as kind of a cartoon character and how funny he is. But I have a story of kind of the darker side of Grant, where we're going to go back and revisit the Moore Stringer case, and where Grant basically told the police that Moore Stringer was a black man was armed and dangerous, should they encounter him, basically risked, put his life in danger over an assault. But when you go back and you look at the case, the assault was Morris Stringer was the one being assaulted and not the assailant. It's really, I'll have a video. That will be my first video on the channel. I think I'll have a video coming out about that. And we'll be actually looking at the things that Grant did as part of that process. And that case is ongoing. That's a case where justice actually still needs to be served in Boston. And I'm going to be talking a lot about that case coming up. So I will be doing that. You'll be the first to know when I have the YouTube channel established. You can reach me HW on your case on Twitter. I definitely prefer if people also go and read the articles and not just my quick hits battling with trolls every day, because I do a lot of research and try to do in-depth articles. And then I will be next week. I'll be doing a Spaces with Lacey Jane that was scheduled for this week. It's got moved. And next Friday, I will be rejoining my friend Miss Shorty, and we're going to have basically the people that were on your show last week. I'll be talking to Beatriz, and we'll be talking to Jen about the Justin Root case. So that's another passionate case that I'm passionate about. So we'll be doing that next Friday. So I'm really happy for those appearances coming up, and I hope to see y'all there.
Absolutely,
Awesome.
brother. Thank you. Brit Happens.
Okay, so my Twitter handle is listed right here. It's just Brit Happens with a 3 instead of the S if you'd like to contact me.
3 instead of the E.
Oh, yeah, sorry. 3 instead of an E. With the E was taken. So I am on TikTok. I am on TikTok as well. Long story short, I can't message right now because some scammer pretending to be Nurse Kim was asking me for money. And I talked back to them a little bit and told them, where to shove it. And because I didn't send the money, that person reported my account as a bully. So I can't message on TikTok right now.
Nurse Kim would be so proud of you.
Oh, man.
My paisan.
They asked me to they said, if you send me $50, then I'll send you 10,000 back, but that establishes the connection. And I was like, well, you already owe me 10 grand from the feet pictures I sent you last week. And they, and they were going back with me for a little bit. But anyway, they asked what my Cash App username was. And I said it was Up Yours. And they didn't like that very much. So now I'm labeled on TikTok as a bully. So I can't message on TikTok, but you can message me on Twitter X. And
she's my new spirit animal.
Oh, shucks,
She is awesome. Man.
Anywho, I am going to be I'm working on getting a YouTube up as well. So be watching out for that. It's just also going to be called Brit Happens. That's it,
man. Yeah, we gonna get her up on that YouTube. I'm gonna tell you. All right. And now reality check, something we all need.
So I am reality check on Instagram, or not Instagram, sorry, on X. And then I've changed my name to Participate and Speculate because I have my partner in crime, who's actually right there, Mike Boyer, is my partner in crime. I'm going to connect him with Jason. We had a conversation about those two are going to get together and they're going to do a live on our channel, or maybe even on with you, DJ, because I think it might be really interesting for that. And you can always find me stalking Boozy or Jon Comeau on Twitter, because I always repost whatever they do. And I'm just out there supporting all of you guys. I love y'all.
We love 100. You, reality check.
We do. And I love this. What Christina said here, Brit, that's my bitch. All right, let's go with my new friend, Boozy Beauty.
Hi, how are you? Mine
How
is.
you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
I love Wendy Williams. God rest her soul. So my handle's very easy. Boozy Beauty. It's EY, just so you all know. Active on Currently, obviously, TikTok is my go-to, as well as Twitter. I do have a YouTube. I don't know what to do with it. I've said this before. YouTube makes me nervous, and I'm just very nervous to be on my own YouTube. But it's there. Eventually, I will post, hopefully soon, if I get my ish
Boozy.
Call
together.
me tomorrow.
Boozy,
Call me tomorrow.
call me.
We'll make it happen.
I don't. You have my number, so if you need help, like I told Britt, getting your YouTube going, call me. I know.
Thank you.
I know. Yeah, and I'll be more
John will
than
give
happy to
you a
help you.
promo song.
Hey,
Won't
let me
John.
shout out Detective Mullins. What is up, Holmes?
Oh,
Thank you very much for the
Detective
donation.
Mullins. Oh
Thank
my
you,
God. So
brother or
sexy.
sister. I appreciate you. Great
Oh.
show. Awesome. and
Detective
gorgeous
Mullins,
panel
so
tonight.
sexy.
Yeah.
You're going to end up taking your pants off, John.
For Detective Mullins, I would.
And hello, my beauty, my fact-checking savage. Love it. All right. All right. Let's see. Now we got to get to my other new friend, whom I've just met, Mr. Jon Comeau.
All right. So I'm a mod on going through the motions for Sean.
Hells yeah.
You know, you've seen some of my work with. I did his opening. I did the one of Mike Crawford's openings. I did the popcorn stuff for Kelly Reed. I on TikTok. I am my own the only fake. We'll call it fake. The only fake name, and I didn't do it to try to hide myself. I did it just as a joke to them. Yes, I'm on Twitter. I'm Dixie.
You have to say it all.
After Dixie Normus, I'm Dixie Normus. Actually, I do have a private message from the chief asking me if I was Dixie Normus. And I said, I am. So it's one of my. I screenshotted that and I love it. I think in Thanksgiving, I did create a board game that I'm thinking I'm going to release to the masses now. That there's several people that have had it. Turtle's got 2 of them, and there's 2 other ones. It was the Canton Confidential board game. I'm thinking I'm just gonna let it out there for Christmas for anyone to have. I'm gonna do it at cost.
Hey,
I'm
how
not gonna
about
make a
doing
dime. I haven't.
fundraiser?
Here's the thing. I have not. I have all my costumes, everything. I haven't asked one person for one dime. Everything is just because I want to. And I think the same thing is going to happen with this board game. I'm going to put it out there literally at cost. If anyone wants it for Christmas, they're going to have it. So
Wait, you should actually make that a fundraiser for Karen. And
no, I'm going to just put it out for free for anyone.
okay.
I've got something to say to John here in a second, but I want to read Sherry D. Thank you so much. Thank you for commenting on John's body. And also thank you. Shout out to Officer
CJ,
John
you know
Oakes.
what this is all about though, right?
I
You
love
do
you,
know what
Sherry
this is
D.
for.
I
I
love
thought it
Sherry.
was you were doing Brandy Chastain from the
No, this
the
is all because
1996.
Jen shared that original picture with Turtle trying to embarrass me.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
So in my mind, I'm like, you want to share? I have no problem showing the world. There
I
you go,
love it.
baby.
I love
You
it.
thought
I
that
love
was
it.
embarrassing. I can embarrass myself very easily. I
I've
didn't
got-
need her to
Love it.
embarrass me.
I've
No,
got
I
Love
love
it.
stuff-
that.
Right,
That's
it's
how
gonna
I
help you.
operate too.
That's
I've got-
exactly what this is all about.
I love that
So-
story. I've got stuff I want to say to you,
Yeah.
Boozy, but I want to get through this tweet right here.
I'll get out.
Shout out to John O'Keefe's badge 2490 FKR FT
Yes.
Free Turtle Boy, Free Karen Reed. Amazing people panel. How fighting corruption, justice seeker, free the duckies. Hells yeah. And
Quack,
F.
quack,
Fanning,
motherfucker.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. Shardy, thank you so much. And for all of you, you guys have been incredibly kind and very, very generous with us this evening. And that certainly helps out. We do pay for Canva to do the artwork for the show. That which you see, I created the artwork.
I pay for Canva.
And yeah, so we
Yeah.
pay for
Oh, yeah.
Canva, we pay for Twitter, we pay for StreamYard, we pay for Spreaker. And yeah, Twitter, we have to have that premium account so we can get more characters in. And you can't stream to Twitter unless you have a premium account now. So you used to be able to do it
It's
on a free
expensive.
account.
It gets
Thank you,
expensive.
Elon. So yeah, so thank you for everybody. Anyway, I want to say, like I said earlier, I want to reiterate on the show. One of the most exciting things for me tonight, other than that you guys were just awesome, is that I've made 3 new friends that I didn't have. I was already friends with Britt and Reality Check and Analyze, and I had the pleasure of meeting Estey in person. But it's an honor to meet Boozy Beauty, Jon, and Jason. So I'm very honored that you guys would come on and share space with me tonight.
Yeah,
No, thank you for having us on.
Yeah, thank you for having all of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And my
Very
old-
welcome.
My other friend's Reality Check, who has been sharing content with me and informing me about a lot of stuff that I was not aware of. She is absolute fire. There is a fire that burns inside this lady that is just, she is fearless, and you can see her passion. There's so much in there to come out. And we can only provide, I mean, we're like a soda straw, and she needs, a fire hose, because she has so much content and so much knowledge from all the research that she's done, which I'm sure I'm going to discover that Boozy, just because I haven't known you, I haven't, and Jon, all the stuff that you guys are doing. Jason, I've just become aware of.
He's way beyond me.
They're fierce, man.
So
Fierce.
yes, so you guys have my number. I'm looking forward to connecting with you and getting to know you better and sharing content with you. And if I can be of any service, Britt, I have the blessing to get to talk to Britt like every day, starting at like 5:30 in the morning on to whenever I get breaks at work and have my cell phone. So thank you. So, all right. Everybody.
Jason, blacklight that hotel room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I know.
Parting
I'm
shots,
gonna do it.
Brown
go for
chicken,
now.
brown cow.
I'm going to do a better investigation of my hotel room than they did of the murder of Officer John O'Keefe. I can tell you that now that you said that. And,
Have you sprayed luminol?
and Jon, thank you for channeling your inner Bert Kreischer. That's what I thought was going on here. So.
Oh my God, yeah.
Jon, get a hold of me, man. You got my number now in chat.
Okay. Bye, guys.
This is the most memorable. DJ, is this not
Yes.
the most memorable?
What's that? Oh,
The most memorable.
This
Yes.
panel? Oh, without
Oh,
question.
sure.
This is the wildest, funnest panel that I've ever had.
6
they're probably
o'clock
gonna be-
tomorrow morning. Peter Murphy's going to be calling me. I just want to let you know.
I love dude, I love Peter Murphy. I'm just saying, you guys are a different kind of wild. Like, we need to reconvene this exact same group again, because you guys are just wild. So, but anyway, so thank you, everybody.
Maybe during the next verdict watch, if we actually get there.
It's not a bad idea.
That's
There
a
you go.
great idea. Yeah, I will definitely try to reconvene.
It's January. I'm going to need my
she
parka.
says- Jessica says, now I'm offended. I'm just okay. See, I knew I was gonna upset somebody, but but this was a really, really fun panel. I mean, this was wild. This was a round table. This was not just a panel. This is a round table, a cab round table. But I want to say this on behalf of Jason and Britt and Reality Check and Boozy and Jon. This is DJ saying peace out. One love. We'll see you down the road.
That went well. I
And
think
we're
that
always
went well.
wondering what's up around the bend.